Greetings,
Hello.
Turtletarians, and what is up? It is your boy, Ryan Guy.
Whoa. It's your boy Easy. Welcome.
And you're listening to Turtle Soup, the internet, nay, the world's only community supported podcast dedicated to the ongoing journey of the TMNT all the way from the very beginning until I somehow find the secret of disconnecting my mental health from baseball, which
No.
probably is never gonna happen. You know what I mean? Rays are 8-2 in their last 10. Look at me, I'm flying. I can do anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Rays lose 6 out of their last 8.
Right.
And your boy's just in the doldrums, sitting there like Eeyore, talking about, thanks for noticing. You know what I mean? Like, just like on my back porch about to die.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So don't worry about it. You know what I mean? It is, baseball's hot in the streets. It is September baseball. It is almost the end of the season. We are fighting for a wild card playoff spot. Go Rays. Rays up. And another thing that you should also up is Turts up. You know what I'm saying? Turtle Soup up, because we are live on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You'd probably be in a rough shape if you connected your mental health to how often we do podcasts, because you'd be good for a while.
Yeah.
Then you just hit some stumble blocks and you just be like, what, you know, like, what's this life for? that's what you'd be singing. Yeah. And it'd be a whole 9 yards. But we are live on YouTube. So if you could subscribe, if you have not already, come check us out. If you are an audio only listener, we guarantee you'll be happy with the results. You know what I'm saying? Get in this chat, be part of this show. And if you already subscribed and watching the show, or you're watching it later, like, share it with some of your friends. Like, let them know that we're around. Put it on the internet. You know what I'm saying? You never know what could happen.
Never know.
It could just happen. Other things that happen though, and we can't toot this horn enough. You know what I'm saying? Is our patrons. You can go to patreon.com. You can see we've been making a podcast now for about 100 million years. Yep. You can subscribe there and be support the show and help us not say clang for as little as $1 hair. Yep. Okay.
One.
All the way up. You know what I'm saying? You can get to the $20 tier, start getting shirts, doing stuff like that. We have a lot of people doing that. And that means a ton to us because it helps the show continue to run at very little cost to us, which we really appreciate.
Yeah.
2 patrons in particular, though. You know, every episode we do this, and I just want to live in this moment for a second. And I really want to dedicate this episode, this triumphant return after 3 weeks of no soup, to Ryan Bolton and Jeff Peters. This one's for y'all. And we super appreciate your patronage and support of the show. And once again, like I said, patreon.com, go check it out, because for as little as a buck, you know what I'm saying? We could have episodes dedicated to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could name yourself something really weird.
You could.
And then I have to say it.
Yeah.
Or
that should be a thing.
You know what I mean? Like, that's I mean, like get your money's worth out of it. You know what I'm saying? Get your money's worth out of it.
Yeah.
Another thing that we try to get our money's worth out of every episode, though, is the journey, right?
The journey. Absolutely.
And we're to get our money's worth today out of this step.
Indeed.
Eric, what is this step in the journey today? What are we doing?
This step, Ryan, I am so excited because this is our first official, that I can remember, step in 1999.
99.
January to be specific. And that is due to the fact that Image Comics, a company that broke away from the big 2 and arguably became the big 3 now,
became the big 3.
They decided to do all this cool stuff, and they eventually acquired the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles after Mirage, their home company or publisher, made Volume 2. I'm trying to make this as long as I can. And
I don't know.
I don't know why. I just felt like doing
Image
it.
All of a sudden, I
just felt like doing it. And they took it,
go with it,
and they have it. So now we refer to it as Volume 3 or
Volume
Urban
3.
Legends, if you go
arguably canon.
Arguably canon, if you will, if it's your scale. So far, it's been ours. And they managed to get through up at least until this point in the journey, 19 issues, and that's what we're reviewing today on the show. That is issue number 19.
Issue.
So, sorry. I just wanted to make that as convoluted as possible.
No, it was pretty convoluted. I got to give you credit. You know, but at this point, I miss hearing your voice so much that I could just stare.
Yeah.
Just stare off and listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could just, and I'll write about it in my diary later. I'd be like, dear diary, Like I'll be laying on my stomach, my little feet
Yep.
kicking up around
Kicking her
in the
around,
back,
yep.
and I'm just sitting there like writing down with my puffy pen. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like let's go.
Oh yeah. Do you have a lock on yours?
Of course.
Is
But
it like a key lock?
well, the problem is, yeah, it's a key lock, but the issue is, that like FBI special agents can just pop it like Cooper did in Twin Peaks. Of course. So like there's that.
Yeah.
But
your brother can't.
Anyway.
That's the thing. That's the important thing. Shane can't come
that's true.
to your house
Shane
and
cannot
get in there.
do it.
Yeah.
Shane can't do it. Yes. So we have an email from Malik I want to read.
Oh, Malik.
If that's cool with you.
We like Malik. They're good
Yeah,
people.
no. Yeah, Malik's like that golden boy. You know what I mean? I mean, he's, self-gloss. It's a rare case where I'm cool that. So Malik, you should put that over the hearth right there with Pappy Shotgun and I don't know, some dead thing. You should put that up there because I usually am not down with self-glosses, but like that golden boy thing, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like I'm in on golden boy. So there's that.
Me too.
So yeah, Malik says, "Hi guys, it's Malik, and boy, has some stuff happened to me.
Ooh.
First off, by the time you guys read this, I'm going to be getting started at my new job at Pizza Hut.
What?
Where I'll be learning how to make the pizzas.
Make the pizzas.
Bro, I'm honestly sneaky considering ordering Pizza Hut. We have pizza every Friday, like of the family. It's like a whole thing, Pizza Friday. And every once in a while we order Pizza Hut. Like because it, whatever, because it's a little more expensive than Hungry Howie's and stuff and whatever.
It's a Hut.
But y'all got that Detroit style back.
Yeah.
Have you had the Detroit style from Pizza Hut?
I don't know. Is it
you
made with
mess with
less
that?
water? Is that what it is? Like I don't know how that works.
No, it has little burning buildings in it.
Oh, jeez.
No,
Okay.
it's no. Everyone looks like RoboCop.
Oh, okay. Does it shoot you in the dick?
Yeah,
because that's
well, it comes shooting out of somewhere, but
jeez. Woo!
You set me up.
I did. I put it on the team.
No, Pizza Hut doesn't do that. Doesn't do that to me unless I do my and not even then, but unless I do my I want to die pizza order for Pizza Hut, which I've talked about on the show before, which is large thin crust, extra cheese, extra pepperoni, and I eat the whole pizza. And I just die.
Yeah.
Like the amount of like sodium, like I start having to really want to drink water.
Yeah.
So I start drinking a bunch of water and it just gives me more indigestion and I just die.
Yeah.
But I'm good for that like twice a year. I'm good for that order.
I mean,
because it's so damn good eating it. It is so good eating it. But you're
paying for
die.
it. Yeah.
No, Pete, the Detroit style is like a thicker kind of pizza. It's thicker crust, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it has the cheese, the pepperoni, and then the sauces on top.
Oh,
Let me just say something about that combo and that hitting you different with that sauce on top. It's really good.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Interesting.
So also Malik says, second, I turned 21 a couple weeks ago. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So
Malik.
young. So young. I'll take your youth for my own.
What?
If I had to,
what?
I
didn't know you could do that. Why are you doing? Is that the power you get from eating that pizza? Jeez.
You know what?
If you eat a whole pizza, you can have the power to steal people's youth. Like that's a thing now, apparently.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, it's all I need every twice a year just to re-up. You know what I mean?
Like you're Ra's al Ghul, but instead of like the Lazarus pit, it's the Pizza Hut pit, and like you got to go and you got to eat the whole thing.
So here's a thing for another small side change. For as big of a you guys know, if you listen to the show long enough, I'm a big DC Comics fan. I'm definitely DC over Marvel, like typically. Not that I hate on Marvel, but like, and superhero movies, I got kind of burned out. So like, if you're like, oh, is Ryan seen any Marvel movies since like the very first Avengers? No, that's not true. I've seen a couple of them. And honestly, like I love DC so much that I haven't seen almost any of the movies.
That's probably for the
like
best.
Outside of like Nolan's Batman and stuff like that. Like I'm just not gonna do it because I love it too much. But I decided to go back on my own and watch all of the DC movies in chronological order.
Oh,
in
dang.
the order they happen in the universe.
Yeah.
Just because I was like, I need to like knock those out. Like, and I need to see them.
Yeah.
And I just rewatched or watched for the first time Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
And I was thinking about like that because like Pedro Pascal's in it and it's really good.
Oh, he's fantastic.
And I liked it. I mean, really good. I mean, it's all right. Like it's above average film. It's not super great. but in it, Pedro Pascal has the ability to like basically monkey's paw people.
Right.
So
And
like
then-
he can ask you what you want, and then like you give him your wish, and then he takes from you the thing you love the most.
Right.
So for example, like Malik's like, would you read my email? And I'm like, is that your wish? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so
take your youth. I'll take your youth.
There you go. There you go. That's how it works. I was wondering how that
Know what I mean?
connected. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Anyways, he says, I wanted to tell you sooner, but I can never figure out how to fill out the rest of these letters. Well, that's the problem. When you drop those long ass verses, all of a sudden you're tired, they're tired, Jesus wept. Like
Jesus
that's
wept.
what happens
That's how
typically.
it
So
is.
like those long ass verses. That line's been in my head all week randomly because Father Preston dropped it on me in conversation.
Really?
The last time we worked together, he just out of nowhere, because that's Father Preston.
Oh yeah.
And we used to quote that song all the time. And
yeah.
out of nowhere, he was like, "Well, I mean, after all these long ass verses,"
Right.
and I was like, "Really?"
I think he said that to me at band practice 2 nights ago. I think he did. So that's
He
probably
must have
why.
got he must have re-upped or
He
something.
re-upped on it. Yeah. But
So speaking of which, I present one of the first rewritten Mutations figure profiles, which I decided to make more unique,
oh,
so it wasn't just the same old thing for every turtle.
nice.
So you ready? I'm going to read this in like we were doing a toy review.
Okay. Right.
I'm going to try to sell you on this.
So just to clarify again, Malik's did this because this is a favor to the community, to be honest with everybody. Because if you're new here, we love the back of the box toy review or toy blurbs. Love that so much. And if you know the people who wrote that for Playmates, let us know, because we don't do a lot of interviews here on this show, but those are some people that we would definitely 100% want to interview.
If you know someone who is really skilled with alliteration and you suspect they wrote most of the blurbs on the back of TMNT figures through the 80s and 90s,
yes,
let us know who this
Please.
person is.
TurtleSoupShow@gmail.com.
Yeah, like turn them into the Turtle Soup Police and let us find this person,
right,
and interview, because I want to know.
I want to know everything.
It's really good. So here we go.
Okay,
are you ready? All right.
Yes.
Gotta get ready. I don't know if there's as much innuendo in this blurb, you know what I mean? But there's also some of that sometimes, but it doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't have to be.
I'm saying this is what I'm looking for. Okay,
go for it.
Here we go. Mutating Raphael, the form flipping foot fighter. All right, you ready to hear these vital statistics?
I am.
Fastest mutation time, 5.0001 seconds blindfolded.
That's how they do it.
Favorite food before mutation, peat moss and lettuce on rye. Interesting Raphael choice. Yeah, a little culinary palette there.
Yeah. I like that.
Favorite food after mutation, cereal. It's not just for breakfast.
Not just for breakfast. No, just like bagel bites.
Cereal is one of my favorite snacks. Like I will get a cup of dry cereal and just like eat that. That's a snack.
I used to be able to do that, but I don't anymore. I guess I don't know why.
Probably because you have taste in class. So here we go. Sorry, I'm coughing a lot, and like
it's all right.
Right when I sat down in my chair, I swallowed a little bit of spit. Classic.
Yeah.
And I've just been fighting this. You know what I mean? And it's super obnoxious.
Yeah.
Although I can turn off my mic temporarily to cough like this. All I hear is a little pop, and then I'm back.
Oh.
Anyway, oh god. Once he was a diminutive pet shop turtle, but all it took was some fresh purple mutagen and a whammo, he became Raphael, the self-proclaimed snapping ninja and the master of the manhole cover.
The master of the manhole cover. Man. Woo. That's a designation we all look for.
Yes, no. I have a ceremony for that. And now you can do it too.
You can too.
But this time you don't need to wait 15 years for him to fully change. Just a few flips, turns, and twists, and Raphael's either ready to crack some skulls or crack some jokes at his favorite comedy club. Got him. Either way, there's gonna be rolling on the floor.
Oh, ooh, interesting.
There you go.
Oh,
that was pretty good. You know what's funny?
Yeah,
that had a couple innuendos, which I really appreciate. And that's how I know you did a good job, because you got to have some of that.
You got to have
some of that where like a kid could read that and be like, cool.
Right. But
and then we read it and we're like,
But if you don't get
And
an
it's all good.
elbow, if your side doesn't kind of hurt or your elbow doesn't jerk when you read these, it ain't right.
Yeah,
it ain't
that's
happening.
the thing.
And so Malik, good job. That was excellent. So thank you
So
very much.
yes, very good, very good. That was very good stuff. So the next thing he includes is tough. We're not going to read it all because I want to urge Malik to post this in the Facebook group if possible. So it's a blurb and stuff for this show, Samurai Pizza Cats, which was a like an anime that did exist.
This. Yeah,
But he did like a whole thing with the art where he made it look like a family home entertainment video.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
But once again, it's hard to describe. But he put like the FHE logo in it and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he wrote a blurb. So what I'm gonna say is, Malik, I think this needs to go on Facebook. That everyone can see it and read the blurb. Because if I read the blurb, they can't see the art, and the art's half of it, frankly.
Right. Yeah.
So there is that, but it's actually really good. So you should share that and your other stuff on the Facebook group, Malik, because
always.
that is fantastic. He closes with, "Hope you at least get a kick out of these blurbs, and next time I'll talk about some of my about my TMNT series development."
Ooh,
he's working on a series, boys.
Nice.
Else time, Malik.
Working on a series. Goodness.
I mean. Well, I mean, at 21, I mean, I don't even know what I was. I wasn't working on a series.
I wasn't working at Pizza Hut or on a series. So at 21, I was probably working at Toys R Us.
Oh, we're probably both working on a series of bad decisions. You know what I mean?
That's what it is.
A series of bad choices or decisions that we were working on. But yeah. So yeah, thanks a lot, Malik, again, and yeah, post that Samurai Pizza Cats thing on Facebook because that would be fantastic.
Yeah, and if you're not a part of the Facebook group, head on over there and join us because a lot of cool people, a lot of cool Turtletarians are in there, and that's usually where we share a lot of our news and things that we're going to be doing on the show and whatnot. So that'll keep you up to breast on everything if you do that, if you're so inclined. So yeah. So how you been, man? It's been a minute.
God, it'd be good if I get this like crap out of my
stop coughing, man.
I know. I've been good. Let's see. I got my guitar amp prepared. It was making crackle sounds that I didn't like.
Kirby crackle?
So I took it, yes. So I took it over to Diversified Audio, which is a really cool place. Guy does a lot of work on a lot of tube gear and a lot of gear in general.
Yeah.
He did me right. Turns out I had dirty tube sockets and other crap going on in the amp tray that he cleaned out and like kind of readjusted.
Yeah.
And it sounds great. So I brought that thing home. Enjoying power. And clean power at my house.
Nice.
In fact, as we had our breaker box replaced.
Right.
And man, yeah, my daughter is in 5th grade and she became a safety patrol. And we went to her.
That's awesome.
Her little badge ceremony tonight, right before the show, where she got her badge and all that stuff. And yeah, I just want to shout out Kara because she's super responsible and she's a really great kid and she's like a perfect patrol.
Yeah.
Kind of kid, a kid you want. Like, 'cause I remember when both of them were in kindergarten. Like, you're being a parent, dropping your kid off to kindergarten the first time. That's some like shit because you've always kind of had your kid kind of around or in a really controlled environment.
Right.
But when you like release that kid into like an elementary school, you're like, oh shit,
like,
right?
Yeah.
And I remember at the time, the safety patrols way back then were like really good. It's weird to think that they're in 10th grade now.
No, that is.
No, sorry, no, 11th grade. 11th grade now, actually.
Oh, that's safety patrol kids that were there when you dropped off. Okay.
Yes, that like helped my kids.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because that's like a 5th grade thing, right?
Yeah, it's just 5th grade.
Okay.
So like,
that's wild.
Oh my god! If you think about the first day we did August, he started 7th grade this year.
Yeah. So those kids are graduated probably.
That was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were in 5th grade, so they're out. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. They're adults.
Sorry, that just all occurred to me.
Yeah, it's all coming back to you now. There were moments of golden flashes of light. There were things we'd never do again, but they always felt right. Real quick, does she get a sash like a belt thing? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay, because that's what they did at my school. That's awesome. Okay,
they got the belt, and then they just had the belts for the first few weeks. And then they had the ceremony. They got their badges tonight.
Nice.
And it was really cool. I don't
cool.
know. It was cool to see her out there. And yeah, like I was saying, like you drop a kid off and like, I knew this from my mom because she's a principal, elementary school principal. she said, like, you know what, honestly, like, there's not a lot to be worried about because, like, the patrols are really good. Like, if they, like, see a kindergartner, like, wandering around, they're like, hey, what's up? Where you headed? And they help show them around. And that honestly made me feel better. So it's kind of cool that, like, full circle, like, Kara becomes one. And she's, like, she'd be really good at helping kids like that. So, yeah, so it was a big, cool night for her.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of been what's up. You know what I mean? Just you know, like I said earlier, baseball's hot in the streets, man. All these games count, bro. And I'm just I ride the roller coaster with my team, bro. It's bad.
Like, you got your boy. You got your boy Father Preston on some shit where he shows up to band practice with his phone in his hand, just watching that game.
Watching that game. Oh, dude, he's
so he's the singer in my band, the Paperback Whale, and he's singing his parts, and then when he plays his lead stuff, like for 2 measures, he turns around and looks at the phone and is playing his lead while he's watching the phone to watch the game. And I'm like playing the drums, and I'm like, are you really doing that? Like, I don't really care. I don't care what he does. But it was just really funny to see that, because it's nice to see that he's like into that. Like, it's nice seeing people.
It really ignited him this year, man. Like, you know, I started talking a lot about it. I think, you know, at first he started doing like, oh, I'm going to watch the games. Then I got to talk to Ryan about the games. Like, it'd be like a thing. Mm-hmm. But then he got so into it. I mean, that guy's giving me analysis that I'm just like, I didn't see that, Preston. That's really good. I didn't know about that. I got one more thing to say.
Okay.
Speaking of baseball and Preston. So did he tell you where he's going Friday night?
No, he didn't.
Okay. So really quick.
Okay.
Really quick. So as long as I've been watching the Rays, and actually since the Rays' first season, now this is 1998, okay. When they premiered,
right,
when they were established, there's been the same older man and his wife sitting behind home plate in like the nicest seats in the house, the whole time. I can't remember his name, but he was the president of Florida Power for a long time.
Yeah.
And he was like super involved in getting like the Tropicana field built. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what got like us a team, right? Like that they could play, you know, in St. Pete. So he's been day and date, and that dude's been behind the plate, sitting there all day, bro.
Goodness.
Like he makes pretty much every game.
Yeah.
Right. So he's kind of like a weird kind of a fan figure, like that a lot of like fans talk about. Like, you know, like Alicia and I there's games where like one time we were closing, it was a playoff game, and we had this pitcher up, and the old man gets his phone and brings it up. It's the last strike, right? This team's down their last strike, you know, I think it's 1 and 2, last out in the 9th, and he brings his camera up to record it. And the pitcher kind of like throws a ball, like he throws too wide,
right? And
he lowers the phone again, and doesn't record ever again. And Alicia goes, "Do you think that pitcher feels like shit?
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you think you think he was like, oh man, like he's gonna film me, he's gonna threw a ball? Nope, not gonna like." So we talk about them all the time, right?
Okay.
So Alicia goes, "I wonder how much it costs to sit in that row, like right next to them." Because if you're sitting there, you're on TV the whole game. Like, you see them every time.
Mm-hmm.
She looked it up, and she found that one of the tickets right next to them was only $100.
Oh, well, that's not bad, I guess.
She's like, she goes, this ticket's only $100.
They said the whole seat, really? But you only need the edge, right?
Yeah, which is like honestly really cheap for a seat like that, dude.
Yeah,
that is. But we found out the Rays are running like a 40% off thing right now, like for the last month of the season.
Yeah.
So she got it, and she goes, oh my God, like, well, there's only one seat available.
Yeah.
Like the only one's available. She's like, which one of us would go?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know. I told her, I'm like, I kind of honestly envisioned like if you and I ever sat behind home plate, like those like crazy seats, I always imagined it'd be both of us.
Right, of course.
She goes, out of nowhere, she goes, I want Preston to go. And I'm like, what? And she goes, I would get more enjoyment out of sitting on my ass, eating pizza, watching the Rays, and seeing Preston sitting behind home plate, like just sitting there,
right?
Than I think almost I would out of going alone.
That's interesting.
And I was like, all right. So we laughed about it. Ha, okay, that's cool. Ha,
yeah.
That never happened. So the next day she texts me. She's like, I bought the ticket. I'm like, you what? She's like, I bought it. So how are we gonna get it to Preston? And I'm like, So we sent him the ticket
Yeah.
in like in his ballpark app,
Okay.
and waited until he noticed. So
Yeah.
we were at work, and he goes, "So I got a ticket from Alicia," and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "You're gonna be sitting next to the old man. You're gonna be sitting." And he's like,
Yeah.
What?" I'm like,
Right.
I had to tell him the whole backstory about like,
that's
oh yeah,
amazing.
Alicia's like, I just want to see him do it. I just want
Yeah.
to see him back there,
Right.
of anybody. And I was like, "Would you go to that?" He's like, "Oh hell yeah."
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, so he's going. So we were kind of like, I tell you what, like next time you come over, like buy pizza or something.
Yeah.
We'll just call it even or whatever. But
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So tomorrow night,
He's gonna be-
if you guys can watch the Rays game, it's
Okay.
at 7:00 Eastern.
See Father Preston.
Rays Rangers. You can see Father Preston.
That's
behind
interesting.
home plate.
I love that idea because it kind of is going. Because I'm appreciating Father Preston enjoying anything really in life, and I find that I generally do with most of my friends. But I had the most recent experience with that with my bass player Mike. He was at Coheed that we went and saw a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't realize how much of a fan he was. So like he was just jumping up, like getting into it,
like
and
all over it.
And I'm like. I'm like kind of like a hot pocket, like I'm like cool on the outside, but like on the inside I'm like I'm feeling this, but I'm like
you're that pot pie hyped,
right? Exactly, precisely. That's exactly what it is. And but seeing him get into it, I'm like, oh okay, and then all of a sudden my shirt's off, and I'm like, what? Okay, and then it was like oh yeah, it was a whole thing, and then I'm crowd surfing, and then Claudio's like touching me, it was nuts. But
and then you're dying. Then you're dying right now when you drink his chemical.
When I drink his chemical,
it's like whole 9 yards.
Whole 9 yards, and that's how I got COVID. But yeah, so but it's so good to see people excited about something and enjoying this stuff. Like there's something about that that I just sincerely appreciate, and at this age in my life, I guess I always kind of have, but it's been more of like I want to be there with you, enjoying it too. But now I appreciate things like in a different way, where it's like I don't even have to be there. I just want to know that you're doing it and appreciating it. That's really neat.
Yeah, no, that's where it came out because and then we both kind of realized like. There's one ticket available. It's so cheap that you kind of can't turn it down. Yeah. And like it'd be really cool for him to go. And like but so the last thing I told about, I was kind of like, all right, I'm like all good. I'm like grab some pizza or something. It's fine, man. Don't worry about it. I was like, but the one thing I need from you is I need like the full after action report at some point. Like I need to know like what it was like, and stuff like that, because I kind of want to know like next year if we get tickets like that. I kind of want to know like like some of the secrets about what you do back there, because it's hard. It's a different whole section than I've ever sat in. Like it's like the seats are all like leather and like padded. It's like super nice.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like, I kind of want to know what that's like, because I think they get seat service.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you go get your own shit. I think that they literally, because you'll see like him and his wife, like the old guy, like placing orders. Mm-hmm. Like there's like a little waitress like knelt down, and they're like, oh yeah, she comes out with food and stuff later.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, man, like getting service at your seat.
So it's like mugs in movies, like how we used to have at the theater, like
kinda, yeah. But imagine like you're right behind home plate. Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. So that's kind of like something I'm looking really forward to Friday night. Is actually just
awesome.
Watching my buddy at the game. That's weird, but that's kind of
because y'all won't be at home, right? Y'all aren't going to be at the game.
Yeah. Oh right? No. Our whole thing is we want to watch it on TV.
On TV, live. Right? Okay, that's what I had thought. That's what I understood. But I wanted
to be able to text him and be like, Preston, wave at me, and I watch him wave at me. Be like, oh my god, this is
real
insane.
time. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. So that was a really funny thing that happened with him. Speaking of Preston.
Yeah. Man. But
how have you been, man?
I'm good. Other than the sickness, I got rid of that. So thanks for everyone for bearing with us and keeping the faith and supporting us on Patreon and everything. We sincerely appreciate y'all. But yeah, my Shannon, my wife, and I, we're all. It always sounds like I'm saying 3 people, but yeah. Anyway, we're all good. It didn't really hit us too hard, thankfully. So yeah, but we're back.
Oh, she got it too then.
We think so. Yeah, it was different than. I mean, we took the test and it came back, but it was so varied, like her experience than mine. Just different.
It's people like kind of different. Yeah.
So but we were both vaccinated, and it took forever for it to get to us. And I think I got it probably from my nieces somehow or another. Like that might have been
Maybe.
like through my parents. I don't know, but like
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we're back on our feet and things are good.
That's awesome.
The paperback whale record's about to come out, so that's cool. We're done with that, and thank you for your help on that. And
anytime.
and then starting to watch Kamen Rider again, and that's been fun, a blast because I keep telling Shannon, my wife, that about the time when you and I discovered Kamen Rider Gaim and how much like how Preston was excited about baseball and stuff like that, you and I were excited about Kamen Rider and those fruit ninjas and stuff, and it was amazing.
We were.
And so I'm explaining to her all this stuff about like the weird tropes in tokusatsu and whatnot, and it's kind of cool. And then I'm looking forward to when the Turtles meet up with the Power Rangers in space. I think it's in space, if I'm not mistaken, and that's going to be interesting. So that's how that ties together. And then there was something, as usual, there was one other thing I was going to say, and it escapes me. But
that's that old, that old classic.
Old classic.
Always
the
imagine.
old chestnut.
Remember we had that joke that like you always say that you're like, oh, there's one more thing I was going to tell you. I can't remember what it was. And like we had that joke that like later that night you wrote it down in this like book, and then like when you die, like that's like what you will me is this book.
Yeah.
And like I always imagine it's like a leather cover and in gold font it says like things I never told you.
Right.
And it's just this whole like record of like, and it's all random.
Oh yeah,
because that's what it'd be. It'd be like that last thing I forgot
absolutely.
to say, but just like all of it. It'd be like hilarious.
Last page would be like, oh, and one more thing, and then you turn it, and it's like there's nothing there. That's how it ends.
Oh, and I have to go to your gravestone, and it's on there.
It's on there.
The last thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's like a whole thing, and then it's like I have to do like geocaching kind of like hunt for the clues, and that leads me to the Declaration of Independence.
Indeed, it does. That's the thing. That's the thing. So, yeah. Well, you ready to get into this issue, Ryan? Are you ready?
I am ready to get into this issue. I am going to flip my hat around.
Oh, snap. Taking care of business. I'm in his bitch.
Because it's like that. You know what I mean? Like you gotta come correct when you're getting into the review. You know what I'm saying?
You're
like,
diving in.
Hello. Oh, whoops. All right, let me get this bad boy up in here.
So,
all right. Yep. So you do the cover, and then I do the credits, and then did you want to sew basically?
Yeah, I'll sew basically. I can sew basically.
And then you start the comic. Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry. We still gotta remind ourselves.
That's
all
cool.
right, here we go. I'll be on your best behavior. We're gonna clip this. Okay.
Oh. Goodness. Glug glug.
Let me just dribble tea all over myself real fast.
I've been dribbling
if you don't
all night. I've been double dribbling, if you will. I don't know what that means anymore, but
I don't know what that means either. All right. Image Comics TMNT number 19. Know what I mean?
I do.
Significant to Stephen King fans. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm talking about,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do a little.
Oh, a wink.
You know what I mean?
The wink.
Yeah,
you gotta
wink
give it
if
to
you
me.
know.
That's
if
all
you
you
know.
gotta do.
Oh, all I gotta do. This comic is from Volume 3. It is number 19. It is from January of 1999.
Goodness.
Prince was running around because that song he wrote 100 years ago is back in fashion. Turn off your computers before midnight, everybody.
Turn off your computers.
This is where we're at.
Goodness.
It would cost you $2.95 US back then to go get it done. And if I'm reading this correctly, it was $4.70 in Canada. And like John Clemens, they are just raking you over the coals in the past, my man. How much does like a book cost now?
Goodness.
I
know.
Probably like $800.
Probably.
Anyway, that is what's going on. Eric, what do you think about this cover, man? Where are you at?
I love this cover. I think this cover is great. First of all, you got the red Image logo on the top, which is fantastic. Very stark. And then that ties together with the Turtles masthead, which is transparent. Well,
just lines. Love
just
it.
lines. Yeah. I think they call that the stroke. Just the stroke of the thing. Yeah. So, and
stroke,
which is awesome because you could see Raphael parts of his body through the turtles and the word turtles, excuse me. And he is like, it looks either like he's been thrown up in the air or he's about to drop an atomic elbow on a Triceraton who we haven't seen in a minute. And he's proudly displaying the pink triangle on his sleeve, which, lets you know. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he's bursting out of some bricks. You all right there? Did I get you, old dad? Woo!
I didn't expect the Weezer reference. I really appreciate that.
That's what I'm here for. Yeah.
No, it hit me good. Let me know the truth.
You know the truth.
Woo!
And then in horror, you see Michelangelo and Donatello in the background just like gasped. And then Leonardo looks like he's been kicked up as well. Like he's just been like, whoa. Absolutely. Yeah. And they look great. Raphael again with his he's just in his normal naked turtle self, like, with the belts.
Yeah,
and
not
stuff,
rocking the shredder armor again.
Yeah, not full Shrafriel.
Weird.
No,
not Shraffiel.
Shraffer? What Shraffiel? That's what it was. I don't know. I was like, I'm gonna keep spinning until I get something here. But
that's what Canadians called him. That was his nickname in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Schraffer.
Old Schraffer. Yeah. So the art looks great. The colors are fantastic, and I think the colors are what makes it, because the art is.
I agree.
It's good, but it's not. It's still pretty much a little bit better than what's on the inside of the book. But the colors here just like, really bring everything, like just gravitate. There's a gravitational pull there from this color gradient that you see here.
A lot of like good momentum in there. You can always tell that it's good art and stuff when you see movement without like lines to show movement, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Typically it's like, there's lines under me. Like that's the wind. Whenever you don't have that, but you can still feel the momentum of like what just happened. Just shows that the art's really good.
Oh, like, absolutely.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I'm a big fan too. Yeah, no, it definitely screams away. And yeah, once again, just like the kind of the stroked masthead is just awesome. Like it's just a big fan of that.
Oh yeah.
So it's been a minute. You know what I mean? It's been a minute. I gotta admit, when I went to read this issue today, I had to basically my own self. I had to go back and look at issue 18 just to remember exactly where we were, because it's been so long. Right?
It has been.
So without explaining the entire Image history.
Oh, okay. I can try that.
Let's. Can you call up so basically?
I can.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's see. So just to get everyone up to breast, Raphael's missing an eye because he got blasted away. The same people that blasted him away gave Donatello his robot cyborg thing. Then that changed, and now he's got a new cyborg thing. So there's that. Michelangelo's the writer, and he's still doing his ninja thing, and Leo's doing his thing. But Leo was unscathed until last issue.
Yes.
Where someone from the very beginning of the Image run, with ties to the beginning of the Image run, Lord Komodo was this guy that could transform, had family members that would turn into monitor lizards, all this shit. And, we were thinking that like we'd seen the last of him, at least for a while. And then all of a sudden we start hearing about these kids dying in the sewers, and there are these gun-toting Elmer Fudd's coming through trying to get the reward money for these for these presumably gators that are out in the sewers killing kids. Because the gator, you might not know this if you don't live in Florida, but the gator's number one food chain is children, and then small animals, and then just anything else. Dunkin' Donuts is in there too for some reason. Like they really like Dunkin'. They don't like Starbucks, but they love Dunkin'. It's a weird thing. I don't know. I didn't make gators. Talk to God. He's the one that did all that. Anyway,
absolutely.
But these Elmer Fudd's are looking for gators or anything that they can kill to get the prize money. Turns out, so we realize that the Turtles and Casey and everybody, they all come together and they're all trying to figure this stuff out. Leo gets shot. Casey patches him up. And Leo's burnt out. Like, he's bummed out because nobody's helping him, because Raphael's got the Foot Clan and he's dressed up as Shredder.
Yeah.
He's helping the Foot and doing that, which is really cool. And I'm all about that. Donatello took off, and I forget where he went. He went somewhere in the air car, like the flying car thing.
Yeah, he went back to Detroit.
Detroit, was it?
Baltimore? Yeah. That was just weird, because he's mentioned it. He's like, I'm going off back here to do this, remember? And everyone's like, I don't want to go with you.
Okay. And and that's the Triceratons car that he repurposed.
Yes.
Then Michelangelo's doing his writing. Like, he's all about his novel that he's writing, presumably about his love interest, Horridus, Sarah, if you will. And she, so that's where the turtles are. Leo is trying to figure this out because he got shot and he sees all these people in the sewers. And then all of a sudden it clicks that, Leatherhead was still in the sewers. Like, he was in their old home.
And there's talk. There's tell of like gators in the sewers that I think killed 2 kids.
Yeah.
So it became like a thing. Like, we got to go figure that out. And he's like, wait a minute, Leatherhead's down there.
Right.
I just remembered.
Right. And so he is like trying to get help because he's already seen the people like trying to get the prize money and whatnot. And he also Leo was weird about it. Leo seemed to be the last person to remember that Leatherhead was there, but nevertheless. So he gets pissed off and he runs and he goes out there and he tries to find Leatherhead. Well, turns out he sees some trail markers, if you will, in the form of dead Elmer Fuds. Just dang up like burn up like a dang old piece of toast kind of Elmer Fuds.
Absolutely.
And these dudes are just all eviscerated and just obviously left there as a follow me. You know what I'm saying? So, Leo, that's what they call it. That's what they told me.
That little follow me.
So that's what they told me. So Leo, just being like self-righteous, he's like, I'm gonna do this on my own. I don't need nobody. So he goes.
Yeah, we talked about how it was kind of like the mama hen because he was trying to get everyone to help him. He's like, Mikey, man, you want to go hunt the badass thing? And he's like, no, I'm writing. And then Raph's like, I'm a shredder now.
Yeah.
And then what is Shraffy? Old Shraffy. That's what the Canadians call him, Shraffy. So he's doing that, and so no one wants to help him. No one wants to help Mama Hen make that cake.
Yeah.
So Leo's like, I'm gonna do it on my own.
Make that cake.
And then when I get that cake prize money, y'all gonna be left out in the rain.
Exactly. You're gonna be left empty-handed, and but. That's foreshadowing in the business. That's what we call that. So Leo finds a sign that says "Turtles, I'm waiting" or whatever. Come here. So he's thinking this is Leatherhead the whole time. Like Leatherhead's like sprung a leak or whatever they say about Leatherhead. And so he gets there, and it turns out Leatherhead is bound and gagged and just on the ground, just hanging out, like just tied up. And all of a sudden, this anthropomorphic naked Komodo dragon pops out. Says, "Hey, I'm King Komodo. And what's up?" And he's all talking and communicating and being sly. And he's got some monitor lizard friends of his. Turns out they're the ones that have been killing everybody. And he's the one that killed all the Fuds and like presumably the kids too. And yes, no, not presumably. He did confirm that he did kill the kids. Yeah,
absolutely, killed everybody. Yeah,
killed everybody. So there's a big fight that goes on. Leo kills 2 of the monitor lizards, and one of them, good old Captain hooks him. And takes a bite out of crime and gets Leo's 5-finger discount and 3-finger. Excuse me.
That was Komodo that did that.
No, it was. It was. You're right, because I'm thinking about whenever Leo had the katana in the other one's mouth. That's what I was thinking of, and that's
because they're real. Because the Komodo dragon dudes are real dumb, and he swallowed Leo's hand, katana in hand. Then Leo proceeded to whisk him like you would whisk some eggs.
Yeah.
Except it was a blade all the way in his throat and it killed him. But he said, and this is why it's connected, he said, I need that hand. And it was his left hand.
Right.
So later when Komodo takes a bite out of crime, he's like, oh yeah, you told me no, sorry, it was his right hand. He goes, you told my brother you needed your right hand, so I took the other one.
Yeah.
And you're like,
oh,
you did what?
Yeah. And it's just gone. And it's wild. Yeah. So go read that issue. It's really great. But Leo's now like missing 3 fingers and a hand. And so now he's not the only that all 4 turtle. Well, no, Michelangelo hasn't had anything happen to him yet. Fingers crossed. But yeah, so 3 of the 4 have been burned up. And so there's that. They end up. Casey Jones finally decides not to go to work. Ryan, he decides to call in sick, and because he's thinking. And you got to give it to Casey, good old Arnold. You know what I'm saying? Like, got to give it to Casey for thinking ahead and thinking like that reward money. that could go a long way to solve some of our problems. So I'm going to call in sick, and then I'm going to go help Leo. So he comes in, cracks King Komodo on the head after King Komodo has been brainwashing Leatherhead, because I forgot to mention that. And because he can control other lizards, essentially. And yeah, so King Komodo goes away. Don't know where he is. They take the other Komodo dragons, and we'll find out what happens with that in a second. But yeah, that's pretty much where it left off. So yeah.
Oh, and the last thing is Donnie rolls back to the little cemetery hideout.
Yeah.
To be like, well, no one wanted to come with me on my little trip, but guess what? I'm home. Ha 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 ha. FBI.
Yep. The the people that we've saw in the on the cover of the last issue where they were all there investigating. Yeah, those people are there. I thought that happened in this issue, but you're right, it happened last issue.
Yeah, they said they deal with it a lot in this issue, but they set a little trap for him, and they're like, stop, do not ambulate, and he's like, what? and then he's stuck.
So so basically. So Ryan, why don't you tell us the fine people who made this happen?
The peoples who made the issue. We're honestly, it's kind of cool to see. Like, I tell you, one thing I'm really impressed by is Image just keeps this same crew on this book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like that's nice. Like because it's Gary Carlson, writer. Frank Frosco is on pencils. Mark Heike is the inker. Pat Brosseau is letters, and Eric Larson is your chief editor, with Josh Eichhorn being the villainous stooge in this issue, or assistant editor in real life. They always give Josh Eichhorn interesting names.
They do. They do.
And you get your cover credits, which is Frank Fosco, Eric Larson, and Ruben Rudin Ihawk on colors. Once again, these same dudes have been doing the covers too.
Mm-hmm.
It's very consistent, which
love that,
which is nice, right? Because whenever you're following a book, and they change the penciler, man. That is so rough, bro. I've had so many books get so raggedy.
Yeah.
When you're just like, oh man, especially because when you start reading a book, half for the art.
Yeah, you don't realize it until
you know what I mean?
You don't know what you got till it's gone. They paid Paradise, put up a parking lot. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what happened to me on Walking Dead, and that's what happened to me on Invincible for a minute. But then I think they fixed it. Well, or it just got better. But
I mean, dude, I'll never forget The Authority.
Oh yeah,
you're reading The Authority, and you got Brian Hitch, who's like one of my favorite artists. Like Brian Hitch doesn't blow your socks off with anything. He's just so good at everything. That's the thing about Brian Hitch. Like his art, his art to me is damn near like what I would consider just like my just ideal art in a comic. He's just great, right?
Yeah.
So Brian Hitch is very transparent. So, which is why I said he's not a master of anything. He's actually a master of everything, but you know what I mean? He's not so distinctive that you're like, oh, like Chris Bachalo. Look at Chris Bachalo and go, dude, he does that Chris Bachalo thing. No one else can do it.
Yeah.
But that's his thing. And if you love it, you love it. And if you don't, you don't. To me, Hitch is damn near like Alex Ross, where you can't say anything about him. You're like, this is just like great art.
Right.
So you're getting this, you're getting this, you're getting this, you're getting this. And all of a sudden the book goes to Steve Dillon.
Oh yeah. It
is like getting hit with a garbage truck.
Yeah.
Like you just go to the next issue and it's Steve Dillon. And I'll never forget. I yelled out loud.
Yeah.
Out loud. I was like, what?
Right.
No! It was this whole thing at 9 yards. Yeah.
So Brian Hitch has
cool.
I'm looking at it now. He's got like a realism to him that I can see that like I can see a little bit of like Frank Quitely that goes like that liked Brian Hitch's realism, like sort of, and then took it to an extreme in a weird way. But then because I'm looking at some of his Fantastic Four stuff, and it has some of that, but a lot of the superhero stuff, like because he did it looks like he did the Ultimates or some stuff on the Ultimates, and yeah, I don't know. It's good stuff, but yeah, Steve Dillon,
it's just
another good artist. But if
you
drastically different.
Look up his art with The Authority, it's really cool.
Yeah,
because like those characters allow him to be a little more together, and it just it's just really good. It is really good, and especially his work on Authority was so good. And then,
oh yeah, I see it here. Yeah, that's really good.
Steve Dillon, and you're just like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Not saying Steve Dillon's not a good artist. He is.
No, because
but
Steve
he's
Dillon
not
did
my scale.
Preacher, but it's
not my scale.
if I'm not mistaken, I believe he did Preacher, and that
he did.
His art, I believe, has some Quitely, whatever his name is, some elements too, at least from how I see it. And then I don't know. But to the point is, it's just so weird when you see inconsistency in this kind of format. I think something happened similarly in the Hawkeye series too.
I'm sorry. I have to move that over. It was Frank Quitely that did that moved to the Authority. After Brian Hitch, it was not Steve Dillon. Steve Dillon and Frank Quitely are like, I don't love their art for the exact same reasons.
Right.
So like I often can get them intermixed.
So you were looking at me like I was crazy, and I was like, wait a minute. But then I think what it was, or I thought you were thinking
like you were crazy.
You had this look on your face, but I think what it was that you were trying to think if it was actually Frank Quitely.
I was, because the more you went into Dillon, I started thinking, I was like, maybe it wasn't Steve Dillon.
Right.
And so I just looked it up to be like, no, I thought it was Steve Dillon. I was like, oh no, it's Frank. I was like, oh.
Yeah, see, I thought you were looking at me like I was off base. Like that. I'm like, no, they're totally different. It's like, he's like Ed McGuinness, and like comparing him to Frank Quitely, I'm like, oh, that's drastically different. But
no. I mean, the art and Authority, it was different enough. Like Hitch's work on the Authority was so, I just really liked it. And then all of a sudden it wasn't. But anyway.
So
this book has the same artist all the time. So that's
awesome.
really great, right?
That's what we're talking about.
Frank Fosco and friends. They're awesome. So that's your credits. So then we open up on the book.
We do. So we open up somewhere where we've got Donatello in front of some two-way mirror glass stuff that where he's basically in an interrogation room, and we see a man in black, which I believe is actually just called Mr. Black. And he's talking to some superheroes that we haven't seen before, and I don't think we will see again. Who knows? But arguably, these are Image Universe, Savage Dragon Universe characters. I believe one of them was called Super Patriot, and I don't know that the others get names. But yeah, I can't find this dude's name real quick. But anyway, whatever. Mr. Rock.
The Rock.
I guess Mr. Rock is his name. Essentially, he looks like if Captain America was just a toe. Like that's what he would kind of look like.
Yeah.
And in this image,
that's good.
There's a werewolf dude with a tail coming out of his blue jeans, which I don't know if Levi's have that like augmentation available.
I've never been comfortable. I've never been comfortable with people with tails wearing pants. I just never have.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, what else would they wear though? Like,
I don't know, man. I
don't know. That's a question. I mean, that's not for us to answer.
This is not my problem.
It's not for us to answer. That's true. My friend Philip had a tail, and where his spine went a little too long, and but he wore pants all the time, and every time I saw him, he had pants on.
Yeah, no, but like that was removed before he, right? Or did he still have it?
No, he still had it. He still had
it.
He also
they removed it.
He also doesn't have the knuckles in the middle of his ring finger or his pinky finger on both hands. So yeah, and he also has my same last name, but we're not
finger
related.
Just short?
It's longer.
Is the finger just shorter?
No, they're longer. They just don't bend.
They don't have the knuckle. Which knuckle?
The middle
knuckle.
So
there's two middle knuckles, bud.
So they have this. So they have your fist knuckle.
Oh, got it.
Then they don't have the next one, but then they have the one right before.
So they have the first one at the hand.
Right.
Didn't have the middle one here.
Correct.
And then had this one here.
Precisely.
You were like doing this number.
Precise. On both hands with the ring and the pinky finger. Yeah. And the tail. Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't mind me telling everybody that. But,
ring and pinky on those two fingers?
Yeah. Yeah. So if he makes a fist.
Interesting.
His fist looked like this, if that's it was strange, but he's a great guy anyway. But he wore pants every time I saw him, so that's cool. Didn't always wear shirts though, but he had the body to pull off a shirt, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, much like these superheroes do, this werewolf dude at least isn't wearing a shirt, so that's got to count for something. And then there's this other guy that looks like some dominatrix guy that's got like just
Dominatrix Colossus.
Dominatrix Colossus. Dominosus.
That's his name.
Dominosus.
No, wait. It's almost there.
It's almost there.
Domolossus?
Domolossus?
Damn it, Colossus. Or maybe we could do like a Peter Rasputin, right? Peter. Damn it.
Colominatrix? Colossinatrix.
Colossinatrix.
That kind of works.
Colossinatrix. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Honestly, it's just funnier when we say the two words.
It is.
So just Dominatrix Colossus. That's just hard to
Colossus.
say.
It is.
Dom Colossus.
Dom Colossus. Yeah, it's like
Dom
it's
Colossus.
a first name and a last name. Dom Colossus.
Yeah.
Or
Dom Colossus. Yeah. They're
anyway,
there.
He's there. And excuse me. So they're talking about Donnie, and they don't know who he is. They think he's an alien. And again, this makes no sense because like they're talking to other superheroes. They should know.
Well, because the Image universe has so many fucking people in it. You can't know them all. And then they're like, why don't you know all of us? And I'm like, I don't know, man. We've been here for almost 20 issues. We've had crossovers with Savage Dragon and all of his damn friends, including the one that lives up in the spaceship and only makes out with this woman and doesn't know when ships come back. And then when we met everybody else, and then we had a guy that just took Johnny Lee Rayburn and did dang old body off into space. We had him, and we haven't met enough of you guys yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We haven't met enough of y'all.
And they all know each other. They all know each other.
This whole like I don't know who this is shit. I'm like, why do you need to know?
Yeah. So anyway, they're trying to figure this out, and I'm like, aren't there? Yeah, like to your point, like aren't there plenty of other people you could be investigating? Makes no sense. Anyway, so they're talking about like how they can't find because Donnie's obviously saying call Savage Dragon.
Donnie's like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I met him.
Apparently,
it's his universe.
He is missing and presumed dead. But that he's never seen Donatello before. Now, that to this guy's credit, he might have seen Donatello as just a regular Ninja Turtle, but he hasn't seen him as a Robodon, you know. But nevertheless, they're just talking about him, and so they also have his car there. They have his the Triceratops car, the air car. Yeah. And so they talk about how his body's organic and also metal at the same time, and it's alive. But the car has a different story. It appears to be alien, all this fun stuff. And so they're kind of touching. That's kind of like Schrodinger's, not Schrodinger's cat, Chekhov's gun, right here. Am I wrong? Where they show you something, but it comes back later. Like they're talking about something a little bit too much to let it just be just.
Yeah, casual. It can be. Yeah. Okay. Related.
So anyway, they come back in and they say, bad news, Donatello. Dragon isn't available to identify you. Anybody else who can. And Donnie's like, oh, call the night watchman. You know, just call him up. Just ring a ding. Ring a ding, ding, dong.
He starts randomly naming like weird 10-cent characters from the Image universe. And they're like, well, I guess next we'll call Santa Claus. He's like, no, that's a valid person.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's not my fault that like 90% of the population is Image Comics IP superheroes.
Right.
Like, it's not my fault.
It's not his fault.
There's 100 million of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't know anyone's phone number. But you would think that this intelligence agency, presumably that's what these people are, that they would have telephone numbers for all these people. You know what I mean? And they don't. And they're smoking indoors, which is weird. So, you know, there's a lot of.
If I was Donnie, all I would just, at this point, all I'd just say is Big Bang.
Oh, yeah. Big Bang. Big Bang. For reasons that will soon become clear to you. Yeah. That's
Big Bang.
That's all you got to say.
Like, we might have to take it downtown and beat you up. Big Bang.
Big Bang.
That's all I'd say. Big Bang.
So he's getting more sass mouth, and they're talking, and they're like, all right, well, hey, you know what? Donnie gets tired of this. He gets fed up. So he's like, all right, enough of this. I want to help you out. I don't mind, but you're kind of like just being rude and all this stuff like that. But like, I could get out of here anytime I wanted to. I was just doing y'all a favor. So this dude Mr. Black freaks out, and all of a sudden, Dom Colossus says, "Jailbreak! He's jailbreaking!
Jailbreak! He's jailbreaking!"
Yeah. So they crash through the aforementioned two-way mirror and just start like trying to like lay into Donnie. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna beat his ass." And
we're going to prep him for an alien autopsy.
That's what they say. Right, which is an innuendo, if you will. I would think so. And then Donnie's got his gun, arm, just transform into a gun, and click clack as he says there. And he's like, all right, Oh, and it does the cool thing where the art's so convoluted that it's like, let's show you the arrow that tells you where this goes. So go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but like a lot of art, I can't say that a comic book I've liked has never done that. But I'm not a fan of the arrow. Where are you on the arrow?
I kind of like it because it there's something about it that unites you with the author, because it means that the author or the editor or somebody is thinking of you. And I don't know if that's a weird way. I get you not liking it. I get that. Like, that's a very valid point, and I understand that. But for some reason, to me, it kind of it's just like the editor's note in a sense. It click clacks the same thing for me, and
but it doesn't. Yeah,
it shouldn't be there. You shouldn't have to do it. Good art would dictate itself. However,
layouts are
yeah. So
layouts are probably one of my favorite thing about comic books. Like, if you go back to like the first episode of this show, I'm just on layouts. I love layouts so much. It's one of my favorite things. So having to have an arrow, because if you want to zoom out a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll take some people to school here.
All right.
So if you're new to comics or there you go. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Whatever, layouts are an important thing. What you see here is the fact that, like, laid out, like, wise, you got these two scenes where effectively Donnie, click clack, I was taking a bath, right? So he's threatening them, and then you see, you see something jump at him, and then the reveal panel is that, this, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to take your line from you, but someone is all up on Donnie. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And now, obviously, if you look at this panel, it only works if it's in like a portrait situation, right? Because he's standing up. They couldn't have moved the bottom panel, the second panel that they're pointing to, up to make it left to right, and then move that at the bottom, because it wouldn't have worked, because they'd fit in the other panels at the bottom.
Right.
So the issue is that you would read it from left to right, and then you'd go that top panel, then the big panel, then the panel they want you to read, then the it's just a messy layout.
It is a messy
understand
layout.
what you're going for. It's just, you want that reveal with that person and stuff to kind of like break the mood. But you've also got to have the panels at the bottom where, like, hi, I'm Rockman. I'm Captain Toe America over here. You got to have that right on that same page. So squeezing it all in. The arrow just.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I get it, but it's a messy layout. But
it's very indie. The arrow is very indie as well. A lot of indie comics would do this arrow thing because,
I think the image
layouts would get so convoluted that they would have to do it.
I think Kevin and Peter have done it before too.
They have absolutely.
But I understand your point.
I talked about it then.
But even then, I think they probably did it way better. Like, they did it in a way that was
this
classier,
page is a mess.
It is.
This page is a mess. Like,
so,
but anyway.
Yeah. So the person you were in reference to, where the arrow is pointing at their behind, is Horridus.
Yep.
We know her as
Sarah!
Michelangelo's somewhat girlfriend, or love interest, if you will. And we last saw her making out with Michelangelo, and then having I forget her name, but one of Savage Dragon's love interests comes in, who she lives with, and kicks the bum out. And so now we see her again. And this is to our point, like, where are all Savage Dragon's friends that the Turtles have met, or at least know of them, that could vouch for Donnie? So here she is. So she clings to Donnie and says, oh, this is one of Dragon's pretty boyfriends. And Donnie's like, well, actually, and he, pushes his glasses up and says,
pushes his one lens up.
Right,
like,
yeah. He's like, our relationship with Dragon is strictly platonic, which I'm glad he clarified, because that could be messy, like a 4-way, 5-way with Dragon and Turtles. It'd be weird. Anyway,
take it there.
But yeah, so Donnie's like, oh, so you're friends with Dragon? Okay, well, my name's Donatello. Okay, cool. So they're like, oh, well, we were gonna kick your ass, but now that one of us recognizes you after we've been here for how long, and like she didn't see him and no. Anyway,
maybe Sarah wasn't in the room. Like, maybe Sarah was like not not looking. I feel like she would have been looking.
She would have been looking, unless there was a TV with some cartoons on. That could have been a distraction. That's true. So
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So everyone's cordial now to Donatello and like, good to meet you. I'm Rock. You know, you've already met Hortus. Sorry about the mix up. We were called in to help identify you, and it looks like we've accomplished that. So apparently, I guess their name is their team name is SOS. I don't know. I didn't do my research on this. But
no.
But yeah, they start talking, and then Dom Lossus says, "Hey, look, this guy on the tube, he thinks he's Tarzan of the sewers. Killed 3 alligators barehanded." And we're like, "Oh snap!
Let's go.
That sounds like our buddy Casey Jones." So we cut to a point of view of somebody of a classic TV transition where you see the people that have been talking.
Yep. Don Floss is watching the TV.
And then the TV changes to a different kind of television. And now all of a sudden we are in the humble abode of Casey Jones and April O'Neil, where Master Splinter and Shadow are there observing Casey on the television. So the newscaster is talking about how it appears that the legends of the sewer alligators killing your kids and everything, that it is all turned out to be based in fact, and but that it wasn't alligators
because they killed people.
Yeah, because they killed people. So it wasn't alligators that were roaming the sewers. It was monitor lizards, also known as Komodo dragons. And I'm happy to report this morning that their reign of terror is over. And we've got Casey Jones like hanging them all up like he caught a fish, like 3 fish, and. Goodness. And yeah,
great.
It's pretty great. So they're talking to Arnold Jones, how he single-handedly slew 3 of these terrifying predators last night and has stepped forward to collect the reward posted by the families of the victims, which I understand, but that sounds so weird to like get rewards from families of victims. Like something about that just seems, I understand it happens. And
no, you're right. But no, that's
weird.
Because typically, like the family, typically like the victims' families post a reward for like the whereabouts of like a human murderer,
right?
But it's weird that they would post rewards for like animals.
Yeah,
is that weird?
I think
it feels like
feels
the city would have been more like. We're gonna like pay like because this gotta get fixed. Why would the victims' families have to pay?
Because
that's
like
weird.
The city probably wants more kids in the sewers because
how would you take the money? How could you take money from people? These were 2 kids?
I think it was 2 kids.
And then a third one got away.
Yes.
No.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. 2 children killed, and 1 escaped and claimed it was gators. Okay. So 2 dead kids, and he says something about $10,000. So it was a $5K a piece.
Yeah.
How are you going to take $5K from the parents of a kid who got murdered in the sewer?
Yeah. The only reason I can see that is because he's got a kid that he's looking out for. So I can understand his logic, but I can't.
You don't need that money anymore.
Yeah. Like. What are you going to get them for Christmas? You ain't getting them nothing.
No, it's terrible.
I know it's horrible.
Terrible.
It's terrible. I know. But and I agree.
Save all the money on their on the avocado toast and lattes you were going to buy them and give it to me.
So Casey's there just on blast. Like this is a masked vigilante who is just gladly accepting this money.
Not masked now.
Not masked. Just out in the open. Like that's ridiculous. And anyway, like this is just like
you see,
good idea gone bad.
Going by his name, Arnold Jones.
Oh,
it's
that's
not Casey Jones.
Not Casey.
He's going by Arnold Jones,
right.
Which I mean, he has a driver's license and has to like him and April like own a building. Like he has to like know. The government has to know like he's a real person. Like nowhere did we ever hear that he was like off the grid or something. He just goes by Casey Jones when he's running around.
I don't know that he would have a driver's license because he lives in New York, and I don't know that they have
ID. Do you need ID?
Right. So I just don't know if they work the same way. But to your point, yeah, like it's
Casey we see Casey drive Jeeps and stuff all the time. Like when he was like hanging out with Gabrielle, he was driving a Jeep. Doesn't mean he has a license.
I was about to say, don't mean he has a license, but no. But I see what
he's
you're
just
saying.
He's like wooga wooga guy. You shouldn't just go to. That's all
license.
That's what his license.
That's what his license says.
A piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's just a piece of paper that has like the current year on it.
Yeah.
So it just has like 8-7 in the corner, and then it says "Wooga Wooga Gaijin, it's go time." Was like what it says on there. Okay,
right.
He just wrote that himself.
I'm surprised he doing this because he said multiple times that he don't do nothing without the mask, and but he's here just on Channel 5 News, just in prime time, and Shadow's like, look, it's Daddy, and April's like, I see. Let's see. Now, I got to answer the phone, and that's never something you want to have happen, is when you see someone on the television, and then the phone rings. That's not good news.
When that phone goes breep, breep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Get out of here.
So I have a friend. This is kind of macabre, but so I have a friend of mine who anytime that I wake up to a phone call or a text from this person, if it's like I'm waking up to them, somebody's died. And that's been
terrible.
It's terrible, but it's like become such a thing that I'm like, David's texting me. Oh, okay. What's that? It's David.
Something bad happened.
Somebody's dead. Okay. Oh, great.
That's
kind
terrible.
It's kind of a similar thing here where it's like,
that's terrible. Geez. How anxiety inducing is that?
Oh, tell me about it. It's
just to see that it's like 6 a.m. See that push notification. You're like,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So
because you can't see it yet. It just says David.
Yeah.
Message.
And then you have to ask yourself.
So you gotta grab that phone and be like, I gotta read this.
Yeah, or you gotta ask yourself, do you want to live in the moment where everyone that you know is still alive for a little bit longer? And then it's a whole thing. So April doesn't have that option because she didn't have. I don't think she has caller ID on that phone, or else she probably wouldn't have answered. But turns out,
man, it's 1999. Listen,
that's
it's
true.
1999, bro.
That's
Your
true.
boy, caller ID was what's up. Now you had that star 69 though.
That's true.
Or it was star 67.
I think it was star
67 blocked the number.
67 blocked
the callback.
Not 69 was the callback.
Yes.
Yeah.
667 was the like caller unknown. You could like make it do caller unknown.
Yeah. So
see, kids, how fun the phone was.
Yeah, you could do all kinds of things with numbers. So she answers the phone. She goes, "Oh, yes, Mr. Daniels. We're watching it right now." No, I thought he was at the supermarket too. Sick? No, I didn't know that. But I see. I'll tell him. Sorry to. Goodbye. And so April informs Master Splinter and Shadow here that that was Casey's boss, and he was watching the television too, and he's fired Casey for calling in sick to hunt those lizards. What was he thinking? And this is just another case of good idea gone bad. And so April's just like distraught. She's like, everything he's worked for, it's all gone. Because again, this was a big plot point for Casey where he was like the store manager or the night manager or something. Like he's worked his way up to where he's actually like making some decent money and things are kind of looking up. And so, April's just distraught. So Splinter is now telling Shadow, who just looks like a witch now, like just like this art is just really bad. But anyway, tells her to go talk to her mom. Go talk to April. Go because she needs somebody right now. And as soon as she does, we see Shraffy just coming out the corner, just like out the shadows. You know what I'm saying? Like dun 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 dun. And and he goes, "Nicely done, old one." I like to imagine that he's talking like real low, like Raphael's like trying to be like, yeah, what's up? I'm Shredder now, you know what I'm saying? And he goes, "You're better a grandfather than you were a parent." Like, who the hell are you, Raphael?
This dialogue like bothers me.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna straight up say that
it's not right.
Like I'll have stuff to say about this dialogue because I'm not a great fan of it.
So Splinter sitting on the ottoman in front of the TV, looking tiny as hell. Like, I love this. So, and again, Splinter had spent most of this run as the bad Bat Dad, where he was, he's always been the rad rat dad, but then he got turned because he got the old dirty insulin, turned into the bad Bat Dad. And they just, Raphael actually, in fact, on the astral plane, got rid of the bad Dadness and turned him back to the rad radness. Rad rat dadness. And so he's back here and he seems to be like fully up and functional now. Anyway, he says, perhaps seeing you in the armor of my enemy makes me realize that I failed not only as a father, but also as a teacher, Raphael. And it's like, damn, like, goodness. That's like someone reverse, like, I'm disappointed in myself because of who you are. Like, that's some hardcore, like, parenting right there.
By the way, might need to... Really fast, I just did a little bit of calculation on Casey's, what he gave up.
Oh, okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah. Let me know.
So grocery store managers, currently, this is kind of interesting number actually. Grocery store managers make in New York City around $100,000 a year. Okay. Cool. And so you figure he was moving into a manager's position.
Yeah.
Okay. Then he wound up making, really, if I double check my numbers real fast.
Oh, math on the mic.
In today's money, that's 177. Sorry, I gotta reverse it. Give me 1 second.
Goodness.
Because I want to figure out, all right, really, I'm sorry to sidetrack, but I want to figure out. Okay, so at the time, he was making $56,000. That's how much, like, his salary would have been at that job.
Okay.
56.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting 10 grand as a reward for this.
Yeah.
So Casey didn't even make up a fifth year of, like, 1/5 of his salary with this move.
Right.
Which blows.
It blows. But do you think that this is like, do you think it wouldn't have been so bad if they would have found out that, oh, you weren't really sick, but instead he was, oh, you were on the news getting other money? Like, that's the problem. Yeah, because I think that just one time this happening, you get fired. Time? But then again, it could also be that this is a mom and pop store that he works for, so there's no corporate necessarily that's gonna, like, some HR department's not gonna come and get him and tell him, well, yeah, you shouldn't have done that, and maybe you're gonna get, like, some demotion for a minute or some bullshit. But, like,
like 18% of his salary.
Yeah. So now, granted,
18% raise is pretty great, I guess, for a year.
It is, but remember, he said that was going to help out with some of the problems they were having recently.
Yeah, the ancillary work. So anyway, sorry to detract.
No. This is great. I love this. This is what Turtles.
Just to put things in context.
Yeah.
Just put things in context of what Casey laid out for, and what the Jones household is going to be missing.
Yeah. As a result,
now that he has lost his job.
Yeah.
So he just traded in a job at $56,000 for 18% of that.
But now the thing is that he could easily, now how many people, well, see, that's the other thing too, the news. So back then the internet was a thing, but it was nowhere near what it is now. So people watch the news, and especially, and I'm assuming here in there in New York, that it's like a communal thing that everyone will know who this guy is, who killed those alligators so that kids could roam free in the sewers. And because I was going to make the argument that maybe he could say, if you were about to become a manager, you had to have had some amount of time on the job to where you could still have that on a resume. And theoretically, like, a job shouldn't be like, oh, you called out sick one time to kill some alligators. Like, I don't know. I don't see this as being as dire as what they're actually making it out to be. But in the moment, I definitely get it. I totally get April's, like, sudden dread, because why didn't he tell her this? And what was he thinking? I get all that, but it's interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess with the $10,000, the last number I'm going to do is with $10,000, he could not have that job for 64 days. And if he got another job at the same amount of pay, then he would be okay.
Yeah.
But if he's unemployed for over 60 days, and they lost money.
But now here's the thing. If he hadn't have gone and got Michelangelo to go with him, Leonardo would have died.
True. And what's the intangible worth of Leonardo?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How
He
do you put a
did
price on that?
lose a percentage of his body though.
He
Under
did.
there. So
Arguably 10%.
because Casey
probably.
wouldn't go with him the first time. I mean, probably,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Probably a little unfortunate.
So it's kind of like the Leo's paw, right? Like, Casey got the money.
Kinda.
Kinda, something like that, maybe. I don't know.
Damn.
There's something there.
All right, so back to the Splinter and Raph business because I want to.
I don't like it. I don't like it. So Splinter's.
I don't like
about
this dialogue at all.
But I do like how he got that whole reverse. Like the parent still is saying that I'm disappointed in myself because I'm disappointed in you.
That's double layers.
And that he's just now saying this to Raphael. Like Raphael and him they know this has been a couple days or weeks at least of him knowing this, and he hadn't said nothing. And then your dad's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm disappointed in you." It's like, well, shit, you could have told me that day one. Like I've been thinking everything's cool. Like man, no. So well then Splinter's like, at least take the hat off, at least take the helmet off. Don't patronize me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so Raphael does that, and he goes, but Dad, the armor's not evil. Like everyone's got armor. It's about the heart on the inside, the person. He was evil. And I tend to use this armor for good. Like this gun, I intend to use it for good, and instead of evil. And Splinter's so distraught that the art he just looks so like bad rat dad right here. Like just
bad.
Hey.
This is bad rat dad.
Yeah. He's just that's how messed up he is. Because normally he looks cool as a cucumber, like just awesome, just sitting back, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, cool. Shooting some b-ball outside of school, but like
you had to finish it.
I did. You could sometimes you gotta give him the whole 8. But Splinter's like, what? How are you going to do good by leading the Foot Clan? They're criminals, Raphael. Like they're killers. They have no honor, and they're everything I raised you not to be. It's like, damn, Dad. But Raphael continues to say, you know what? But they're ninja just like us, So the old Foot is dead. They're new recruits. I've trained them and molded them and everything, and I'm going to remake them in your own image, like after you, because remember, Splinter and his. He wants to make them all like turtles too.
Exactly. Effectively.
And they were all part of the Foot Clan too. So,
sure.
So he's like, not in my image. It's not my, see, this is where old Dad gets you with that. It's not my image you use to inspire your troops, Raphael. They do not follow you or they follow you or the armor. That's what it is. And it's like, damn, I didn't think about that. Like that's, Splinter coming in with that dad knowledge. And so, so Raphael gets sick and he's like, I've been trying to, whatever. I don't know. And so Splinter talks about the Japanese version.
Like, did you talk to the home office?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you call the home office?
Did you call the home office to make sure it's cool if you're CEO of like the North American branch? He's like, yeah, I've been trying, but like, right, but whatever. So I'm like, no, that's a big deal.
That's a big deal. So, he tried, but Raphael's on that old tip where he's saying that Karai's still friends of theirs and that, she's runs the Japan thing, but he goes, sorry, you don't have faith in me, but, I'm sure you would have helped Leonardo if, he would have asked, but Splinter's like, actually, no, Leo already asked. And, before you kicked all your brothers out and everything like that, they asked for my help with you. And, no, so you're wrong again. It's like, damn, Raphael just striking out. So we cut back to Leonardo and Michelangelo. They are in their old lair, I believe, with Leatherhead, and they're hanging out. They're doing their thing, and they're talking about Casey being on the television and how that's crazy. And Leo's being kind of funny, talking about how he's taking all the credit for doing essentially what Leo did. Leo killed everybody. But then what's Leo going to do with that money? Buy some pizza? I mean, what's he going to do with that?
Yeah, no, seriously.
I don't know. I mean, I know he needs a hand, but like, like, what's a month? Anyway, and then Mikey's like, yeah, all he did was save your life, or it's no big deal, whatever. So, and so they're going back and forth, and they're just talking about like how they wish they would have got there sooner and stuff, and they're like looking at his, his hand stub and stuff. Yeah, then Leatherhead, who is all over the place, and I love him for this. This isn't my favorite version of Leatherhead, but I do appreciate this version of him because he's so not really erratic, but You don't know what you're gonna get.
He's very neurotic.
Yes. So he goes, they're like, hey, what happened to Leatherhead? And he goes, oh, down here. I couldn't find no trace of King Komodo in the sewers, but I did work up quite an appetite. You guys want something to eat? All the carrion down here made me hungry, so I could eat a horse. Is that what he says? Yeah.
Made me so hungry I could
eat a horse. And he probably could. So yeah, and he's got this like grin on his face, which is just great. It's just nice seeing something so menacing just have like a smile, and it's just cool. So anyway,
he's in a pretty good mood. He just got rescued.
And he's seeing some friends, and like, you know, things are cool. So then he's like, oh, don't have any horses though. Do you guys like meat? And
like dog meat is what he says.
Oh, he says dog meat. Oh, sorry.
Do you like dog meat?
So he goes, hey, I think this is Michelangelo, I think. Says, hey, you rebuilt your teleportation gizmo. Does it work? And then he snaps. He changes, and he's like, get away from the transmat apparatus. You're not supposed to sabotage it this time. You're not going to.
Yeah.
And that's a whole thing that goes back to Mirage, you know, volume 1 and 2 and all that stuff. And
first 10 issues,
yeah. So and he says, nothing will stop me from joining my friends, or from rejoining my friends, the Utroms. And the turtles are like, whoa, you know, it wasn't us that screwed that up last time, you know. And then they're trying to be like, you know, speaking Pig Latin, talking about like, don't bring this up. We need to move away because obviously things are weird. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, like this visage of a Utrom appears in this like tube, and it's like, oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so you know, he's like realizing that, oh yeah, Leatherhead's nuts. He eats animals and saves their brains, and he's thinking that this is just a brain, but then no, it's a Utrom. Yeah. It's just a full-on Utrom, just right here. And yeah, we thought we'd seen the last of them a long ass time ago, man. But no, they are back, or at least one of them
are back on the menu.
And so Leatherhead's like, get back, stay away from him. He's my only friend. And his name is Dr. X, which is
Dr. X.
That's just a cool name. Like, just Dr. X. You know, you got a lot of questions. But and it's weird because he's a little all over the place too. He's telling Leatherhead not to worry. The turtles didn't mean him any harm. Like they were just trying to, you know, he's trying to calm Leatherhead down, apparently. And so Leatherhead takes him out of this jar, and he's like, it's okay. I was just afraid he'd hurt you and I'd be alone again. It's been a confusing couple of days. And again, we got to factor in that, that King Komodo was inside of Leatherhead's head as well. So that probably jostled some stuff. But anyway, they're the so Dr. X is talking about how they're the ones that led to the destruction of our outpost here, precipitating our departure from Earth, which is a throwback to Mirage Volume 1, numbers 4 through 7, and ages ago. And they try to, you know, they recount it all and say it was an accident and all that stuff. But Leatherhead says he found him in the rubble, you know, and while searching for spare parts to build the transmat, and that's how they became friends, you know. And they're talking about all that and how he nursed him back to health, and they're gonna, you know, build this transmat thing again. They helped each other to do that, and but the problem is that Leatherhead has large, clumsy hands, and perhaps you can help us make the final delicate calibrations. So that's and it's getting really creepy because at this point, Dr. X is sitting on Leatherhead's shoulders, which reminds me of when Krang was on Shredder's shoulders on his head, and that was
never let a Utrom anywhere near your head because they, according to Archie Cannon, they could just pop on your head and control your entire body.
Indeed,
that's not great.
It is not great at all. So later, they're talking about, too bad Donatello's here. He's missing out. He could have, you know, took notes and build one of these for us, you know, our own. And they're like talking about. So Leo is like on the actual pad, the transmat pad, and he's asking for help from Michelangelo. And he's like, yeah, Mike's like, I'll be right there. I've realigned the microcircuits and entered the coordinates that Dr. X gave me. As far as I can tell, everything looks good. And but then Leatherhead's like still not sure if they can trust the turtles. And there's a whole bunch of that going back and forth. So they finally tell Michelangelo to go ahead and press the button while Leonardo is in the transmat. And he goes, "What the hell?" And we get a frizzap, and then something happens. Ryan, do you think you can maybe articulate what transpires from this point?
Yes. So I really like the Utrom's little plan here, Dr. X. He's like because the way he kind of says it before, he's like, kindly to press that blue button, Michelangelo.
Mm-hmm.
Like just you press that button. It's part of the
Yeah.
tests. Like it's just kind of like, we gotta press that button, then we'll do some other work. He presses it, and for zap happens because it turns out that Dr. X's plan the entire time was to zap Leo with the thing, because that was their whole plan.
Yeah.
Because Mikey's like, you little bastard, that activated the transporter, and your boy's like, of course I couldn't risk testing on Leatherhead or myself, could I? And you realize like that was just part of it.
Yeah.
And then Leatherhead's like, that wasn't really fair, Dr. X. And he's like, oh, no harm done. Turn that dial to the right and push that green button. So now we know how to use a trans.
Now we do.
If you're curious, because
that's
we
what they
just press
told us.
The blue button, then turn the dial to the right and press the green button, and you bring it back.
Now you know.
So we get another Frizaki Zack happens, but this time, we get Leo. That's a great thing. We also get a Triceraton Commando.
Woo!
Which
Goodness.
to catch you up on things, there's a couple different classes of Triceraton. They're all pretty warlike.
Yes.
But commandos were shown to be like the most badass ones.
Yes.
Like there were like just a lot of soldier Triceratons that you see, but commandos were the group that were sent after the turtles when they were in the midst of all that crap. They had the air cars. So that air car that they got it from a Triceraton named Zog that was left behind after all that crap went down. And he was a commando that had that kind of equipment. So they're badass. They're more badass than a regular Triceraton. So he pops out, I guess, because he had a hold of Leo and they were fighting.
Yes.
And Leo comes back, obviously very disoriented. Like, what's like why? But why though?
Like think about it. Like you just go to another place, and you're like, oh, I'm somewhere I wasn't before, and then there's this thing that forgive me, but this is something that Leo knows exists, but still in our zeitgeist, we think that these creatures are what looks like them in our world are extinct. And so he's having to register that on top of, I thought we were done with these guys, and now these badass things that we fought multiple times are bad. Like, that's a whole thing. Like, this is nightmare fuel for me.
Absolutely. And he's only gone a second, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, it's long enough for Mikey to be like, oh my God, like Dr. X, what the hell? He's like, I'm sorry. Turn the button back. It's fine.
Right.
That's how long they're got. And he's already running from his life from a Triceraton commando.
Yeah.
Instantly. So, So effectively, like, Mikey explains what happened, but they have a problem. So what you kind of have here is, I love this Triceraton, because he's never named, but I'm a big fan of him. Because Triceratons, they always go hard in the paint.
Oh,
like
they do.
they don't understand. They don't know how not just to conquer things. So he comes in immediately. He's like, I claim your transmat device in this entire world in the name of the Triceraton Republic.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, oh crap. And he also recognizes one of the turtles. And he's like, like, we're taking this, and it's gonna be kind of cool to kill you because we saw you had transmat before, and we really wanted your technology. Actually, and that's been one of our objectives since you've been gone, which has been a really long time, by the way.
Yeah.
So they've kind of affected that whole world's timeline, which I think is kind of interesting. Like that whole thing between the Federat and the Utrom, that whole war that was going on, like they totally affected that and have never gone back and checked on it. Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
Like stirring the pot and then just like leaving it. Just be
like kick the wasp nest and then just left.
Yeah.
Like basically. So there's a big fight going on. That's the big thing. Leatherhead jumps in because he's like, that's my transmat. No one's gonna rob me of a transmat again. So he's got another reason to fight the Triceratons. And in the letter section, they make a little bit of a someone makes a correction in there, a fan, and because in this comic, I'm not gonna read obviously every word, but they do make references to the fact that Utroms and Triceratons come from another dimension.
Yeah.
That's in the comic.
Mhm.
That's not true.
No.
They are in our universe. They just are really far away in another galaxy.
Right.
So the transmat cannot go to other dimensions. We get that kind of mixed up. I'm pretty sure that Gary Carlson got it mixed up because of the animated series.
Oh,
because
yeah.
typically, like where the Utroms are from, and it's always in another dimension. Transmats literally, transfer material to different parts of the galaxy. So the Utroms and the Triceraton and Federat Republics all exist in other parts of the galaxy. That's just a note. If you're reading this issue and going dimension, they acknowledge Gary acknowledges that they goofed on that.
Yeah.
In the book, but so there's a big fight, and that's kind of what this winds up devolving into. Leo grabs the blaster. He point blank shoots him 5 times.
Yeah.
Once and then 4 times in quick succession, and it is all that this commando could do to stand, and he falls over dead.
Yeah.
Not dead, but I guess passed out.
Yeah.
Because Leatherhead does say he's still breathing. The other thing we noticed too, this is a small thing, but it matters later, is that the Triceratons, the minute they come over, they start coughing.
Oh,
that's a thing they just constantly do because the air here is not that great for them. Like he should have, they have really cute space helmets that have little holes for their horns, and it's like the coolest thing ever.
It was.
He should be wearing one of those,
right?
But he's not because he literally got sucked over here from his homeworld. So Triceratons don't do so great long term.
They don't
in Earth atmosphere.
They don't.
So we know this from previous, like from Mirage and stuff. So like he automatically starts coughing, and you kind of realize like that's probably what gave the turtles the edge.
Absolutely,
is he's just in an alien environment and stuff like that. Like
because
he just takes these shots point blank.
Because Zog, when they found him, he was delirious, but that's because the air, like, cause it was just not getting enough air.
He was slowly like, he was getting like his brain was like dying, like little by little. He was just, not great.
I love that Leatherhead's like, he's still breathing. Cut his throat. Just,
and then of course, calmer heads, right?
Yes.
No, let's send him home. And, of course, Dr. X is like, oh, that's a very good idea. He claimed that the Triceratons have working transmat devices of their own. And all this stuff, and it's like, well, how does that matter? And all of a sudden, Frizak and yes, it turns out that the Triceratons did lock onto that signal, and they are using their Leatherhead and Dr. X's own transmat to transmat a whole squad of Triceraton commandos.
Oh yeah,
which ain't great for anybody.
No,
that's a bad day.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the day I had, Breaker Box. It's like, that's going to be $5,700. I was like, ugh.
Right.
But that's not as bad as having, I count 5 Triceraton commandos.
Yeah.
4, I mean, excuse me.
And this
is a squad of 4, and their 5th probably came through the portal first.
Right. And this is a day where where one of your family members have lost their job as a grocery store manager.
Leo lost a hand. Casey lost his job. That ain't great.
No.
So now Dr. X can't work the transmat.
Yeah.
Because of course he can't. You know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of rough. They wind up shooting. There's a really great art on the bottom of this page we're looking at now with Leo holding Dr. X. Yeah. Like almost guarding him and like blasting. Like, can you show that on there? It's like my favorite panels.
Yeah, let's see if I can.
Yeah, the bottom panel of that page.
Yeah,
I just love everything about this art. I love the shading. I love I love a lot of it.
Oh yeah, it's great.
They've always done. Fosco's done a great job, and also Inks have done a great job of just not overpopulating panels like this, letting negative white space speak for light. Yeah, and they do such a good job sometimes.
They do.
Like, and this is really good. So yeah, big ups. I love that. I'm a layouts guy. You see how like that actual whole thing is the entire back page.
Yeah.
And those panels are just on top.
Right.
That's
love that.
Good layouts. That's
Absolutely.
Great layouts. So he's, going crazy. There's just a lot going on. This turns into a fight. They wind up like tossing, They wound up tossing Dr. X like he's a football.
Oh yeah.
Keeping him away from the Triceraton commandos. And they wind up jumping in the water. Leatherhead and a bunch of them jump in the water to get away. The Triceratons want to pursue, but honestly, like the commander of this is like, no, they're in their element, they're in the water. We're not water creatures, so like we're not gonna go, some of that Sun Tzu. We're not gonna fight them on their battlefield. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna do this. So post men along the water and post men at entries and exits. We're gonna just basically lock this thing down, more or less. And only the Utrom is to be spared. So the turtles' lives and Leatherheads are sacrificed. Like they're just sacrificed. Like
they're disposable.
That's whatever. They're disposable. And he says our objective now is to repair the transmat device and to reestablish contact with the Republic. So they set to working. Now this is the fun part. So I love this kind of because this goes all the way back to Zog, bro. This goes all the way back to like Return to New York and all this stuff like that. So one of them gets a reading from, he's like, wait a minute. We're not the only Triceratons here. There's a signal from a warrior named Zog. His vehicle is here. He's like, honestly, like we might be starting to take over this planet.
Right.
Which is a really cool idea.
It is.
That is a really cool idea that they're a little bit like, wait a minute. Let's go link up. Because like they might be undermining this civilization. Because like that's all they think about, man.
Oh,
like
yeah.
all they're so warlike, they're just like conquer everything. So they're like, let's go link up with Zog. Let's see what's going on. So and we get a little backstory. He disappeared with those turtles and the honeycut robot years ago. Perhaps he and his men have already established a base on this planet. We'll use a low-range transporter to teleport you to that signal. So he's telling one of his soldiers, like, you go take care of it, inform Zog of our situation and request assistance. And yeah, so they transmit him to the place. So meanwhile, we see, so your boy Donnie has now I hope I see this. We don't got many issues left of Image.
We don't.
There's 4 issues left.
Yeah.
In the run. Okay. I'm getting a little like Donnie's messing with Sarah in a way that I don't think Mikey would appreciate, given that Mikey's in the middle of writing a romance novel.
Right.
About literally Sarah called something else that's very close to Sarah. And a mutant person falling in love in hard times is literally what he's writing. And Donnie is kind of.
You think he is?
He's getting a little smitten.
Okay,
and I gotta be honest.
I can see that. Like he's liking the attention.
Honest, he's liking it, and I gotta say, Sarah's hard to read.
Oh, definitely.
Sarah's hard to read here because at first you're like, oh, she's really into Mikey. It was like all about the Mikey. But I mean, they're driving. And she goes, pretty. No. If I told you this, like a story happened to me, what would you say? Okay. I'm going to put this in frame of like, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like, we're back in our 20s. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm driving my air car, right? And this girl who like kind of previously is like made out like with my brother.
Yeah.
She goes, pretty. And I go, yeah, it's a beautiful view of the city from up here, isn't it? It's pretty great. She goes, thanks again. I say, yeah, thanks again, by the way, for squaring things out with me and the basement dudes. Cause like that was crappy. And thanks a lot.
Yeah.
She goes, I meant you're pretty.
Yeah.
To which I say, actually, Mike is the cute one. I'm the quiet one. Old Mike sure is going to be surprised when he gets to see you.
Yeah.
And she goes, nice air car. Is this yours?
See, I think.
Do you know what I mean?
I do, but I think that Donnie's still deflecting. I don't think Donnie's engaging. I think.
Oh no, Donnie's deflecting for now.
Yeah,
but like, Sarah's making moves.
She definitely is. Like, there's something that's not right.
Those are moves.
Those are definite moves.
No, what Sarah says is pretty. No, I didn't mean the city. I mean you. And when he deflects, she goes, "Nice car."
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Now, if I told you that man to man one night, you'd be like, whoa, that girl's like all over you, dude.
Oh no,
like,
no. There's
like
no
straight
doubt
up,
about
you'd be
that.
like, oh no, like there's no mixed signals here.
There's
bro.
no mixed signals
like,
there at all from Sarah, but from Donnie,
it's all over there.
Donnie's, I think he's trying to play it cool, but I
think he's trying to play it. Hey man, I think he's trying to play it cool too. You know what I'm saying? But like somebody need your sprocket sprung. You know what I mean? You never know. You know what I mean? Like I don't know where Donnie's at. I don't even know if Donnie's got that going on anymore. I don't know what Donnie's like.
I'd be hard pressed.
Donnie's in like a Dr. Manhattan place. Like he just thinks all flesh is weak. Like humans are weak. Like I don't know where Donnie is, man. Do you know what I mean? I don't know where he's at.
But I mean, if he can turn his hand into a gun, I'm pretty sure he can turn everything else into functioning parts.
Pretty sure he can turn his hand into a shark fin.
Exactly.
Pretty sure he can.
Pretty sure. Has to be. If not, he needs an upgrade. But
yeah. I mean, he also his hat could become a shark fin too. I mean,
it kind of looks like one there too. Whatever he's wearing.
It does. But anyway, yeah. So he winds up explaining. He's kind of like, this is my car, belonged to this guy named Zog, but like, I made a lot of modifications. And you probably never, you probably would have liked old Zog. He was a dinosaur guy, kind of like you, but not as smart or pretty.
There you go. Oh, Donatello. That's,
you know what I mean?
Don't do it. You don't do it, Donnie. Don't do it.
And listen to her with her arms wrapped around his arm.
Yeah.
Like he's a big hunk. She says, what if Zog wants his car back? You know what that means? You know what she's doing, this. Right?
Oh yeah.
She's looking for the like, well, I'll beat his ass. Like she wants that. She's doing the thing. It's crazy.
She's doing it. Yeah.
He goes, he doesn't need it where he is now. Zog's dead, extinct. We don't have to worry about him showing up. And then you see in the back of the vehicle that the Triceratops Commando is just in the back seat.
Just in the back seat.
Just instantly.
Oh, it's so good.
Boop.
So good.
Boop. I'm in the back seat.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was going to make the argument that wouldn't they have like felt the pressure, like something changed? But then I realized that no, this car was designed for the Triceratons. So that's not that could be an argument as to why it's built to entertain that kind of weight.
They never explained before anything like. There's two ways to think about transporters because I'm gonna because there's two types of like material transportation, right? Mm-hmm. There's Star Wars where things are beamed over. And what happens is there's an isolation field. Like, for example, because, the problem is, like, if I was to transport you to, like, my house, one of the biggest problems is no matter where I put you is full of matter, right? Air.
Yeah.
There's air and dust particulates and crap in the space you're going to be.
Right.
Right? If you instantaneously take up that place, it actually, in theory, would cause a pretty wild shockwave of air.
Yeah.
Like it could hurt people's ears. It could there's stuff that could happen. If it was in a really small space, it could actually give you concussion damage. So if you were to say to transmat into a closet, like you could burst your eardrums. There's like a lot of like real life stuff. So Star Trek, I believe, is the kind that uses like an isolation field. It creates a vacuum, then replaces it with you, and then it's all good.
Right.
Okay. It exchanges that stuff. However, in the 40K universe, it don't work like that. You just take up the space.
Oh, just
so there's this like whatever like Space Marines transport down to a planet or something. Mm-hmm. There's like a shock of like bah, and like the air like kicks out when they show up, right. Or when they leave, the air collapses suddenly. So and I think there's like the chaos of that. They're like, yeah, it's badass.
That is
like screw y'all. Like it can't hurt a Space Marine.
Yeah.
Like a Space Marine's in his armor, so if you're gonna warp down with your other Space Marines, they don't care. Or if you leave, they don't care. But humans absolutely care. Yeah. Because it super sucks when Space Marines show up at a transport, right? So I would take it the transmat technology, because they never explained like a clap of air or like a ear shattering like blast, that it uses that technology. So if it does, it would, especially with air moving past it, would be almost silent. Now, Donnie would probably notice the air car start to handle very differently.
Well, that's the point I was making.
The Triceratons like as big as like 4 turtles combined, but
and that's what I love. I love how massive they are. There's something so beautiful about how chunky they are.
They're super chunky.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And but I guess that's kind of the point I was trying to make too, was that and I loved everything you said. That was awesome. But I think I think you addressed it too, was that since the car's moving, a lot of the problems you were talking about might be resolved because of that. That like it would have been, you wouldn't have heard it. But then if the car was built for Triceratons to begin with, maybe it already handles like a heavy machinery anyway.
That's true. That's true.
So maybe there's something there, but
that's true because it's supposed to hold 2 Triceratons.
Yeah,
which is a lot of weight.
It is.
And I know Donnie probably weighs more than the average turtle because he has also the metal stuff going on. But like, Sarah don't weigh but like 90 pounds. Like she weighs like nothing. I think it's interesting. I will say though, the one thing I could see being part of, I know we're getting really nerdy about this, being part of the Triceraton thing is I bet you they have different like transmat experiences for different desired effects. They probably have a stealth one like that where they just do a short range like whoop and like it's silent.
Yeah.
So they're just there because that would be terrifying. Like, if you turned around and there was a Triceraton commando or like let's say a squad of 5, that'd be like the worst day. Right. I love that.
Yeah, I love that about this one panel right here. I love that.
Yes, it's awesome.
It's terrifying. Like if you turn around in your car, y'all are on your way to work right now. Turn around, and if you saw a Triceratops, turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. Let us know how you feel. Because
let us know because
and get the Triceratops to subscribe because we need all the subscribers we can get.
we need to get over 400 guys. Yeah. But you would at least need a new pair of underwear. That's
at
standard.
Least standard.
I could also see them loving the air shocking one.
Oh yeah,
because that would be badass.
But would that make noise? Would that make a wow? Like
yes.
Okay. Then definitely they would totally love.
It would sound like you broke the sound barrier.
Oh yeah. Oh,
it sound like that.
Yeah.
Be like super shitty. Which they would love.
Of course.
That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, and then that's it. And that's it. So we gotta figure out like, but I gotta say, Donnie tried to play it off, but then he said that you're so pretty shit. And I gotta be honest, I don't know if they have time for that. I don't know if they got time for this. And 4 issues left. But I wouldn't be mad at that storyline because that's kind of what Mikey's got going, frankly.
It is.
Like that's what Mikey's got going. And yeah, I'm not gonna deny Donnie. And I'll be honest, like I'm kind of questioning like Sarah's whole motives here. Like Sarah, what are you doing?
Oh, absolutely.
Like is this is this just talking about tonight kind of shit? Like what do you like what's your deal? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I don't know enough about Sarah. I don't have enough obviously time on target like reading comics with her in it to know if she's just naturally like very kind of curious and like to her she doesn't really see monogamous relationships as like even a concept. Like frankly, I don't know enough about her, but she's very cool in the comics. She's like probably she's my favorite side character in this entire thing. I don't think I've met a side character from the Image universe and Savage Dragon universe that I really care about any more than Sarah.
Yeah. I can agree with that. Outside of Dragon, I do like Dragon. I do like him.
I like Dragon. Dragon just Dragon. That's one thing. But the problem is you can't just have Dragon.
You can't just have a Dragon. No.
Because he has his whole rogues gallery and then all the other heroes, and it's just so built out.
Oh, I do like that that rooster dude, Powerhouse or Brickhouse, whatever his name was. I like.
That's right. Well, no, he's but he's a bad guy. So I guess, the Legion of Doom or whatever they call
whatever
it.
Whatever their name was.
The Chicken Head dude is badass.
Vicious Circle was it?
Vicious Circle, dude. Chicken Head dude is bad as hell. That guy's awesome.
Oh yeah,
I love him.
He takes no guts.
So he wins the villains, and then she wins the heroes.
I agree.
I think for Turtle Soup right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I thought. It's tough. There's stuff about the issue I like, and there's stuff I kind of don't like. I really don't like the issue opening up with like a bunch of Towhead Captain America
Yeah.
and Dom Colossus. Like, I don't, who are these people?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if we look
I
at
do.
these characters and say, oh, one looks like Captain America, but if he was a toe,
Right. Like, what does that
totally
say?
true.
Yeah.
And then the first thing we see out of this other cat is Dom Colossus. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the whole opening where it's like you have to pass the test because you don't know enough Image people.
Right.
And he's like, what about Savage Dragon and the Night Watchman? Those are two pretty. That'd be like if I told you, like, if I came to the DC universe and I go, ask Superman or Batman.
Yeah.
And they're like,
like,
well, can't talk to them. So what you got next? I'd be like, I don't know. Those are the two biggest superheroes in this universe. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my fault you can't contact any of them.
Right. Yeah. That's more of your
That's what
problem.
Donnie. I think Donnie should be like. Donnie should be like, Night Watchman, just down the street,
Yeah.
is like a whole ass like.
He has a billboard. Or
He has
Galahad
billboards.
did. Galahad did. That's right. Galahad. He should have said Galahad. Because
Whatever, call him what
he's
you
the
want.
attorney.
Kid Galahad, I met him when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Now he's Night Watchman because he was Galahad. That's all three of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's public knowledge, but like
But
you
here
can
you
ask
go.
them.
you can have that.
Or you can ask like, Savage damn Dragon. He's like the Michael Jordan of like
Of
characters
Image.
in this
Yeah,
book,
at
like
that
in the
time,
Image
yeah.
universe. Like you can't find Michael Jordan, so I don't exist.
Right.
Is that
right.
is that what we're talking about?
right?
So I just found that kind of like, I don't know. I felt that kind of just a boring thing to sit through.
Yeah. Yeah.
It felt like you failed a test.
Mhm.
And this is a Turtles comic.
Yeah.
And Donnie's now we are firmly in this Image universe, which I don't hate this. I don't hate that concept.
No.
I hate when the first, I'm going to count pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 4 pages of a 20-page book, almost like, what, 20% of the book?
Yeah.
Like, mouth on the mic? I mean, like is a failed test about that?
Yeah, that amounted to nothing really, except to get Hortus with Donnie at this point. That's really
It was
the only.
Yes, you're absolutely
only-
right. It's
The only way I could
a
see
device
this
for that.
redeeming it, being redeemed, would be as if there's an editor's note that says, "Hey, so these Men in Black essentially, they're in other books, and this is a thing going through Image right now where they're looking for characters that are weird or something like that, and this is their part in the Turtles universe." That would have made it like a little bit more substantial and made it make some sense contextually, because otherwise, like, this is out of nowhere, at least in my from what we've read in Image of the Turtles. But like, there's no precedence for that. There's nothing that's telling us that this means anything. So
This SOS group that they're all in, Toe Captain America and Dama Colossus and Wolfman Jack and Sarah, they're like all in this group called SOS, and Donnie openly says, "Oh, you guys are SOS? Yeah, when Dragon called looking for recruits, I turned him down."
yeah,
So like,
he knew.
you guys are a group organized by Dragon, and you don't know who the hell like the other possible recruits were. Like,
Right.
he doesn't give you enough
Oh, yes,
intel to
thank
like
you.
to be like,
Thank
oh
you.
yeah, like,
Yes.
these are all the people that like could be parts of SOS in the future.
Yeah.
These are the other people I consider for SOS. Like, it's probably about time you know some of the other characters in the universe that you don't
Right.
know. If I was Donnie, I'd be like, why the hell don't you know who I am?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you. Because I
The
meant to
Shredder
bring that up.
exists in
Yeah.
your universe.
Mhm.
Like, who do you think killed the Shredder?
Right. Exactly.
My man. Ever
Yeah.
heard of him?
Galahad did. Galahad knew who he was.
Remember that thing with TCRI and the Utroms, and they were going to blow up the building? What about Baxter Stockman? He, ha, ha, ha. Evil as shit. He was going to do it. You know,
Goodness.
like,
No.
who they killed them all, man? You know what I mean?
Run around talk about
Like,
guns. You know.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that. So if I was Donnie in that situation, I'd be like, how the hell don't you know me? I don't accept you. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
accept your existence.
Yeah.
Who can I call?
Right.
Who can I call to verify who the fuck you are? Sorry, sorry, I can't call Dragon. He's dead in his own comic book.
Right.
Also, I don't have the Night Watchman's phone number.
Yeah, sorry, don't have that. Yeah.
I'm an overreaching government organization, but I don't have his fucking cell phone number. So what are we gonna do next? Donnie should have gone, I don't know, you're awful at your job.
Right.
Well, what do we do next? Actually.
Yeah.
Anyways, so there's that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Casey loses his job, which is fine. I didn't like Raphael and Splinter's discussion. That felt ham-fisted as shit.
Really?
It felt, I'm sorry, I'm cursing a lot, but I mean, it just got me. It was so ham-fisted. So you've got Raphael. Now this is Raphael, and could be borderline. Well, number one, because all the turtles are like being taken apart physically.
Yeah.
In this book. Probably why it's not canon anymore, right? Or
Right.
debatably canon. A guy who's gone through all this stuff, Mirage 1, 2, and this, with old bad bat dad over here, or rad rat dad.
Rad Dad.
Straight up walks in the room dressed as the man who murdered Splinter's entire family.
Yeah.
You got to remember this. Before there were turtles.
And he made him the boogeyman for his kids. Yeah.
Absolutely. Before there was the turtles in that family, the turtles are his adopted new family. He had a family.
Yeah.
And it was Hamato Yoshi and Tang Shin. They were his, he was their pet.
Yeah.
Like, that was the family. Okay. And he loved them. The man who murdered them, that he trained the turtles to avenge, come walking up in his armor. And the first words out of your mouth when you see Splinter, just tell Shadow, look, you might want to go hug your mom. Obviously, she's very upset about what's happened with Casey and the job and stuff. Shit's tight in these streets.
Right. Yeah.
Walk up, nicely done, old one.
Yeah.
You're a better grandfather than you were a parent.
Yeah, you don't need to be that way.
Where does that actually fucking come from, man?
Yeah.
And I'm asking Gary Carlson, where the fuck did that come from?
Goodness.
Where did that come from? Give me anything.
Yeah.
Anything that would ever show that Raphael would do this.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically do this, right?
Yeah.
It's so it just so feels like a teenager who just says something mean to their parent because they're just they have grievances about crap they never talked about, or they never actually aired out, from 2 weeks ago, that time you said I couldn't go to Derek's, and I'm like, well, now I'm gonna say that I hate you,
and
you won't know why. And it's kind of cool. The difference is we've been getting this whole, these are the new turtles, and the comic's good, so you see that they have grown up. They're dealing with different issues.
Still teenagers.
What is this?
Mm-hmm. It's a little
This
out
is
of nowhere.
I hate you, go to hell, mom.
Yeah.
And slam your door and turn on Disturbed. That's the attitude that I'm getting here. Right?
Yeah.
And Splinter has a lot of great points.
He does. He totally does.
He Splinter's rational. He's like, no. Just no. All your crap you're throwing up, no. But no, for these reasons. And he's well,
I do like it because it's showing Splinter not being a pushover for his kids. That he's like, no, I don't like this.
I understand the mechanic.
That's what he's.
That's how we get it, though.
How else
would you get it?
How else would you get it? I don't like that Raph did the way he did.
How about Raph rolling up without the helmet on, number one, and then rolling in and kind of just being like, oh, hey, father, because he's around. And Splinter looks at that and goes I can't have you wearing that and me in the same room. And he goes, listen, try to understand what I'm doing. And he's like, no, I won't understand. And maybe Raph gets mad after that because he's frustrated. He's like, no, I'm trying to strike out on my own. And Splinter's like, you're doing it the wrong way. I get that. I don't get walking up hey, old man, better grandparent than you were a parent. What the hell?
I think that I think the whole insulting Splinter, as far as that's concerned, I think that was a little out of a little off base.
Garbage.
but I think that the idea that they're trying to push is that the armor is and the power is going to Raph's head and changing him.
I guess.
But he's always been the hothead. He's always been the one that's rebellious and not taking the leadership and all of that.
But he's never been cruel.
I mean, he's been crude, but
crude.
Yeah, that's true.
But cool.
What did he say?
He's never been cruel.
Didn't he say Master Master Sphincter? Didn't he say that?
Yeah, I don't like that either. No, I hated that too.
Yeah, that was weird too. But yeah,
like, so if they're trying to go for like the powers consuming him and the Shredder armor is symbolism for like this power he can't resist. I get that, but man, you could do it better. Like,
the insults are weird.
You could.
I think the insulting.
I don't like the insults, but here's the problem: he's insulting, but then he's like he's like almost like idolizing him too. Like he's like so he does all that, and then he says like, "Oh, they're just like us. They're ninja. Their old Foot Clan is dead. We could mold them in your image." And he starts like paying all this homage to him, like, "Help me mold them and stuff." And Splinter rightfully goes, "What?
Yeah,
absolutely not. Not only did you roll up in this thing just insulting the shit out of me, but like, you know what? I feel like he was being rude only because they wanted Splinter to have the line, they have no honor. They're everything I raised you not to be."
Yeah.
And all that stuff about like I must have done a bad job of raising you.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I hate that. I hate that that's where we are with Splinter and Raphael this late in the game, guys. Like that is, I mean, dude, it's 1999, guys. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's been 13 years.
But has
13
Splinter...
years that we've been reading these comics, and Raphael rolls up like in the year of our Lord 1999 and drops like, "Yeah, you were a shitty parent." Like that's where we're at now.
Has Splinter seen Shredder since the Ting Shin thing? I don't think he has.
No.
So
yes. When Shredder returns.
Oh,
when Shredder returns to the second time around.
That's right.
Splinter's there with them, I believe, when all that goes down, and he sees Shredder there.
That's right. Okay,
pretty sure.
But still, that's like early teens Mirage, somewhere in there, like early, like within the first 20 issues, somewhere in there. Sorry.
Oh no, it's in the first 10 issues.
Right.
It's like issue 8, I think.
So.
In the Leo Micro.
So, see, the problem with all that is that I get the movie conflated with those books, so it all gets jumbled up in here. But
the problem with the movie is it's all out of order because at the end of the comic he falls off the building with a thermite grenade,
right?
Which is what happens at the end of the movie. But in the book, he goes into the garbage protector. Either way,
right?
Like he's off the building, and he dies. Conceivably,
right?
However, in the comic, he falls off the building. They think he's dead, but he's not. And he returns, and that's all that good.
Yeah. So,
that's that Leo Micro, all that good shit.
But nevertheless, this is something that Splinter has seen in his nightmares, and this is something that has haunted him. So I get the armor thing, and especially considering that you've told your kids this whole time that this is something. You know, I get it, but I think I agree with you on the insults. I think the insults are a little ham-fisted. It seems a little bit like 90s, like, I want to be a badass kid. I'm going to insult my dad, but then like realize that, well, actually, I'm trying to pay homage to you. Yeah, I don't really buy all that, but I do love the lines that Splinter said in return. The whole, it's not my image that you're inspiring them with. And I feel like I failed you as a father. I like the way that those lines were delivered.
Sure, you can have that conversation. It just feels just like drama for drama's sake.
It does.
And I don't and when it comes to the Turtles or anything I've been reading or watching a long time, I just don't like the it just feels immature. The genesis of this conversation was like, yo, I'm gonna come in here and throw insults at you.
Yeah.
And Splinter's like, excuse the fuck out of me? What are you doing? And he's like, listen, Dad, listen, please, Dad, help me. And he's like, no. Like actually, hell no. Yeah. Like, for a lot of reasons. And then Rob feels like, well, I mean, I guess I'm out of here. Goodbye, master. Sorry, I don't have you don't have that faith in me. Like,
Yeah,
if you would have
that's
asked Leonardo, and I'm
yeah.
like, wait, like, so you're literally like have one hand out to slap me and the other one
Mm-hmm.
out like for alms? Like,
Yeah.
seriously, that's what you're doing? Like, you want to borrow $5 and you're slapping the shit out of me at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, and that's the problem is if Raphael was going to act erratic because
Mm-hmm.
he's all over the place, make it truly erratic, make it like mood swings. But that's not what it is here. It just comes off like kind of immature and bad. So between the 20% of your comic is you don't know who all the people are, and we don't know who
Yeah.
you are, so you don't. So you're Donatello in a Turtles comic, but you are worthless.
Yeah.
Then the whole oh, guess what, Dad? I hate you.
Mm-hmm.
Please help me.
Yeah.
And Splinter, yeah, no, all of Splinter's lines are great, but like it. Do you see what I'm saying? Where it feels like kind of sticky bad writing because you're like, you can tell they're like, oh, well, we really want Splinter to tell, like, have a conversation with Raphael about this Foot Clan thing because you've been thinking about that for a long time, right? You
Right.
and I have talked about it.
Yeah.
Like we've asked ourselves like, what's going to happen,
Yeah.
and you get it. But it feels like you wanted it there, so you're like, well, how do we get like Splinter to say all this stuff? Oh,
Yeah.
we'll just have Raphael say whatever he has to say to get Splinter to say that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I
Where
could
it's
see
not
that.
good.
I could see
It's
that.
it's just like, oh, this is just a bunch of stimuli
Yeah.
that will get
Yeah.
Splinter to say. So I'll say I hate you, and he goes, well, I mean, I guess I raised you like shit. Yeah, I wanted Splinter to say that. I also want Splinter to say that do they worship you or the outfit?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have Raphael say, look, it's not the armor doesn't matter. Because I
Right.
want Splinter to say, no, the armor, like, how do you know it doesn't matter? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like you care about one side, but the other side just says whatever he has to say to get what you want out of the other character.
Yeah.
And that's where that's ham-fisted kind of like writing. Like when you look at that, you're kind of like, okay, like, so if you actually try to trace what Raphael says through this, it makes actually no sense. Like where his mind could go point to point.
Yeah.
And that's because they want those reactions out of Splinter, and they want Raph to say mean things because that makes it dramatic.
Well, see, I see everything you're saying, and I agree to the most part. But I think that the point they're trying to not doing it to great effect. But I think they're trying to push the whole thing that the armor it's not actually doing anything to Raphael, but Raphael's allowing it to do something to him. And I think that's what they're trying to push, but it's coming off weird. It doesn't, because I don't even think that I don't even think Shredder would be that rude. I don't think I think Shredder would be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Shredder would have been just like how Raphael...
Shredder has no time for that. Shredder has no time for that crap.
No, I think Shredder would have been as cool and cunning and collected as Raphael was when he went to the mob and told him what happened and everything. That was excellent. And I think
that was really good.
That's how Splinter... See, and that's probably where the juxtaposition is coming from, where you could see the bleeding of Shredder into Raphael, and that's why maybe that's coming out weird. But then again, it could be that I'm projecting that onto the bad writing and what they're trying to do with actually what's there. But yeah,
putting it in context, it's just a couple misses. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Like I know I've drilled deep on it because I really wanted to illustrate. I've been talking for a while. I just wanted to illustrate exactly like why I don't like this.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of times we just kind of say like, I hate that. Oh, that sucks. Bad writing.
Yeah.
And we just move on. And to me, that's like almost as insulting as Raphael, is to his father for absolutely zero reason that I can point to in canon. So that's a thing. But I wanted to explain exactly why. Like why in a Turtles comic should the first 20% of the comic be you don't know who the Image characters are, so we're gonna judge you in your own comic. I don't like that, and I explain why. And then there's the stuff with Raphael, and I, like I said, this book's has got those things right before.
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten Splinter right before. They've gotten all the Turtles right, and we usually have just nothing but praise. It's just for this issue, it was a bad miss on this whole like the result of Donnie getting caught by a bunch of people I don't care about because I read Turtles.
Yeah.
I just don't care about you. And then right into like meanwhile, Casey lost his job, which I was like, oh, that's good actually. Damn, like that sucks because that was because there was good foreshadowing for it, right?
Yeah,
because Mikey said like, are you sure you should be off work? Because April said money's really tight and that sucks.
Yeah.
And he goes, I got it, man. I just play hooky because I'm gonna get this money.
Yeah.
And Mikey's reaction is kind of like, all right, dude, I guess.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that like, no, Mikey foresaw that was stupid and he got caught. So I love that. But then we hop right into this. Literally, it's like Splinter's doing like, go, Shadow, go talk to your mom. She needs your hugs. Hey, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you're like, oh, I hate this.
Yeah.
Like, I hate this.
Yeah.
Then the rest of it is like Triceraton, Utrom,
goodness.
Telemat, great times. And
yeah.
And I'm cool with all that. Like, so, I mean,
yeah.
Sorry I went on so long, but I feel like you got some stuff in too. I think that we might both see the Raphael scene a little different. I just that's how I feel. I feel like we kind of missed in the first half, and then we had a bunch of fights, and it's seeing Triceratons is great.
Seeing Triceratons is awesome. I love it. I love it.
That's some great stuff.
How chunky they are. I love how like terrifying they are, and it's so good. I love seeing the Utroms because the Utroms are weird and just different, and I love all that.
Yes,
and
they're chunky boys, and they're commandos.
Oh yeah,
their entire thing is just conquering shit.
Just conquering shit.
And you know what's great about understanding someone's motivations in writing is everything's good and clean, and that's all the Triceratons care about.
Exactly,
conquer your shit. The first guy through the transmat goes, first thing I'm gonna say, you don't need to know my name. This transmat's mine. This planet's mine. Go on.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh, and that car that I left here,
we're taking
that back.
Yep.
We're taking that back too.
Yes.
So, you know what?
Hey, one of my friends already came here to conquer all your crap with the car. I'm going to send one of my guys to the car, and we're going to team up with him to take this planet for the Triceraton Republic.
Right. Yeah. We got this.
Who wants to fight about it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to jump in the sewer? I'm not going in there. That's dumb.
Yeah.
So
we can't swim. I don't know what swimming is.
Yep.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yep. Triceraton's here. Hello. Oh, by the way, cough.
Oh,
I got some of that.
I love that. Oh my goodness. Well, guys, what did y'all think of this issue? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? We want to know. Email us turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. You can also find us on the home of the internet, turtlesoupshow.com. And you can also find us on Facebook, our Facebook group, Turtle Soup. Lots of cool people there, and that's where we keep everyone up to breast as to what's going on.
Don't forget really fast. Sorry. We talked about this in pregame, but if you didn't catch pregame or whatever, we mentioned that if you have any action figures or hobby stuff, that questions you had, or you just want to show off some cool hobby stuff or action figure stuff, put it in the group.
Yeah,
because everyone's gonna look at it, and we always get good response. So if you feel like, I can't put my action figures broken wing on Facebook and ask how to fix it. No, absolutely,
you can
do that.
That we call this family. That's what it is. So, you can do that in Facebook group, and that's, like I said, that's where we keep everyone up to breast on what's going on, as well as Instagram, Turtle Soup Show with the underscores between each word, and and then we're here on YouTube pending illness and technology and everything else, we try to be here every Thursday
I think we're good. I think
we're good for a while.
We got in our I think Paul said something like on Facebook, like, "Oh, this always comes in threes," and it's funny because when I first read that, I go, that old wives' tale bullshit. And I stopped and I was like, Cover, plans, electricity.
Yeah,
and I was like, he's right.
He's right. Paul Calico got
so I loved the comment because he knew it.
Yeah, you had to change it. You had to love it. But if you're just an audio listener, please just consider coming over to YouTube and subscribing.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't watch us, you can subscribe. That helps us out. And we got a lot of fun stuff going on here. We got the pregame show, all that cool stuff. So there's that. And then, but if you want to be one of the few and the proud people that we can definitely call family and keep us from saying clang, you can go over to patreon.com, find Turtle Soup's done been making a podcast, and you can throw some pennies our way. And I believe all the Patreon rewards from the first half of this year are out. And if you hadn't received it yet, it's because I forgot to put a 0 on your address, and it came back to me. So that's why it was late. But other than that, I got everything out, and everything was made. And that was cool and that was fun. So thank you to everyone who's been a patron this far and at all. We sincerely appreciate it. And yeah, so thank you for that. And I don't think we've seen Mr. Bucket recently, but that doesn't mean that he's not out there still. So, be careful and, keep your balls in check, I guess. But yeah,
watch
so
out.
gotta watch out. You gotta watch out. You never know. So, alrighty. Well, I guess that's going to do it for us this time. So, until next time, else time.
Else time.